Okay, hey guys, welcome to the live. Aspen will be here, but he told me it was a long day for him and he'll be running late. So I was like, I can get this party started without you. That's no problem, right, Charmaine? Hi Gail, how are you? And I'm glad you made it home safe and sound, my friend. And I hope you had a good weekend, and I'll talk with you about that later. But yeah, love you and hope you had a really a good trip this weekend and a good hockey game. And let's see. And sorry, guys, just looking at something for a sec. Hi, Jackie Taylor. How are you? Glad to make the lab not always doable. Absolutely. With the UK difference. Um, I understand this. I'm usually awake. At most time, people are sleeping anyway. Um, so let's see here. So obviously, this live is about Audrey Cunningham, and there was a press conference today. Hi, Gail. How are you? And I hope you're doing okay today or well today, Gail. Um, and Diana, how are you? Hello, Aspen Shermaine, Sunny, wonderful peeps in chat will be lurking tonight as I have to be early tomorrow. Absolutely. Just fall asleep to my voice. I know it's sexier than Charmaine's anyway. She's not on here to argue that, so I pretty much win. Hi, Crafty One, how are you? Yeah, that's how we roll. Okay. So what's in front of you today? Well, it's going to be a few things here. Um, how many of you like? I'm not gonna play the press conference till later. Just because Adam hasn't seen the press conference himself. Not gonna do the whole thing, but kind of like just the main part, just of it in a sense. Um, so there wasn't a bunch of stuff said in that press conference, but one of the things that was said in the press conference actually, um, okay, hold on. Let me go to Google here because I'm on the lakeshore. Let me go to the scenic loop. Oh, don't you guys like take this journey with me? Whoa, I love it when Google moves us around. Okay, so this is scenic loop. Okay, and it's CMFM 3277 scenic loop. So this is where they said, people, please back off, let us do our jobs. Please don't come down to scenic loop here because that is where they're searching. Hi, Strictly Chaos. How are you? Oh, there she is. Hi, Boston Christian. I'll be in and out. Thanks so much for doing get again today. Yeah, I'm not sure. Did you guys get a notification? Because whenever I put out too many videos, sometimes and stuff like that, um, sometimes you don't get the notification. But Um, I don't know. I think you guys might have got it. Anyways, I wish YouTube would just unlimit us. That would be perfect. So YouTube, if you're listening, which you won't be ever, just let us put out as many videos as we want to. Give people notifications, of channels that they follow. Actually, it was funny. Can I just say something really quick? I was watching this video the other day, and I don't remember the guy's name, but he had created this app where you could, choose who you wanted to follow, type of thing. So bottom line short is someone called YouTube um, basically took all his videos down um, because, of course, you think of Microsoft when they monopolize something, right? And when somebody like Android or Apple, makes you buy their products in order to charge your phone and stuff like that properly, or they have to always have, whereas Android, you can, they don't care. They use that cord, this cord, whatever, that type of idea. So, but he created this app where you could choose, the people that you wanted to follow, like meaning you chose what you wanted to do, not necessarily what they chose to give you, in a sense. Did ya? Perfect. Okay. So again, right here, they told us that they were on Scenic Loop on 3277. And so I'm not sure exactly where they're searching around here. But in the press conference, they basically made a comment that Don, okay, we'll call him Stephen McDougal, because he goes by the name Stephen. But his name is Don Stephen McDougal. And so, anyways, in the press conference, they were just like, like he's taking us different places. of course, like he's kind of given us where he went at this point, this point, this point. I mean, at the end of the day, data, hopefully the phone and everything else, and people and video and all that will tell the tale. It's just a matter of where Audrey is. So I don't, on this one, I don't give a crap. Don, Stephen, McDougal, McFly, whatever your name is, just fess up. You're lying. You know exactly where she is. You know exactly what happened to her. And you're just playing a cat and mouse game, because he's acting like, look, I just dropped her off. No idea what happened to her after that. Don't look at my criminal history either. I mean, nothing there to see, right? Nothing there to see at all. Um, so usually don't sometimes call people out, but in this case, I'm just going to call the guy out. To me, my opinion, he absolutely was the last person to have contact with her, and you can bet your bottom dollar that he knows exactly what happened to Audrey. I don't like to play games, okay? I don't like to play games. You see a spade, call a spade, okay? You see a pile of shit, you call a pile of shit, okay? Sorry. Right, absolutely, right? And so, yeah, I'm not here, like, it's one, I get it, right? If I was a responsible reporter, but I'm not. I'm just a person that has a YouTube channel that wants to share true crime awareness and stuff like that. And I just want to provide as much accuracy as we can, but still talking about things as well without it being drama infested or, da 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 da. I mean, I get it. That stuff sells like the stupid tabloids, but whatever. Not here to play games, just here to try to be truth finders, fact finders, give you that information, and whatever else you do with it after that, that's totally up to you. But anyways, hey, you had too much, Mom. Is Ben in here? I didn't see Ben. Oh, there's Ben. He's over up there. So, scenic loop in the conference is where they said basically, leave us alone, let us do our jobs. This is one of the spots, and he's taken them around to, like I said, many. This guy is not confessing, okay? The only time that this guy is going to confess is literally when he's going to be asking for some sort of plea deal because, oh, shoot, you caught me red-handed. Oh, I thought I was good at trying to lie to you guys. But, like I said, they have said to us, do you remember in the one press conference when that lieutenant, whatever his name is, says, we're looking at several people. And he goes, well, actually, we're looking at one person, that person of interest, Stephen McDougal. Okay, that's who they're looking at. They ain't looking at anybody else. They're only looking at information, and different things like that. That is our person of interest that's in jail on unrelated charges. Okay. You guys, can I get an amen? Amen. Okay. And so that right there is that. Okay. So let's go back over to the home. Okay. So it's about 5 miles away and it's at 231 Lakeside Drive. So this is the home right here. And we can actually take our little stick man, and it's not going to give us the best view in the world, but I'll give you a different view in a minute. Okay. And it's, why do you have to do that to me, Google? So this is the home here. Okay. Right at the end here. So they're saying that McDougal, is a friend of, I think his name is Joshua Cunningham. I think, I want to say that they call him Lucky because I remember seeing that. But anyways, so we'll call him Joshua Cunningham. And so, of course, this is where he lives here. And McDougal there was living, I think they said, in a trailer in the, like in the, on the property there. And hence why, grandma and blah, 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 etc. live there. So, but I'll do this 1 second. I'll go over to, sorry guys, just give me a moment as I try to switch tabs here. We'll go over here. Okay, so this is Don Stephen McDougal. Okay, like I said, like a football field long of, arrests, and that most of them he got out like the next day and stuff like that. And he has two of those indecency ones that are out there. And that's hence why in the press conference, it's like, we need to stop the rumor. He's not a PEDO. He's not a, SA. Um, the charges against him, are this. They're not that. So go check with the county is basically what he said. So he's 180 pounds, 5'9". And that's, again, no visitation times available on there. So this, okay, and this is, of course, beautiful. We got of course, show beautiful Audrey here. Um, Also with that little shirt says, what, saying honey. This is just heartbreaking. We did a live earlier today, you guys, when there was the press conference. Um, just a heartbreaking story for any missing child. But today we're talking about Audrey here. And yeah, I don't think that the outcome myself is going to be favorable, sadly. That's what signs are showing. That's being realistic. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. That's just trying to be realistic. And it's heartbreaking beyond repair. You know. Hi, CJK. Hi, everybody. How are you? Please remember, hit that like button. Okay. Thanks, guys. So this right here is the home. Okay. The home that I was showing you on Google. This is 231 Lakeside Drive. So that's the home. And then I got this from Zillow, I think it was, and the other sites had some really crappy pictures. These were the best clear pictures. But anyways, so it's like that. This is like the living here. Let me just make it a little bit bigger, I suppose. So can you guys see that better? There we go. Okay, perfect. So that's the outside, and this is like the inside, and then they have those pictures pretty much, and that's where that ends. Um, and so hence why, on Google Earth, again, it was just to show you where the home was. Let's see, do I want to show you anything else from there yet? I don't think so. Let me see. No. Oh, the other things I was trying to, the messages. Oh my God, the messages. What a headache. I literally about an hour and a half ago was like, let me go, you know, snapshot those messages. You know how it is when somebody takes a snapshot of and they're showing of reading, and then you're not sure which one's the next one unless you see where they've overlapped it, and hence why there ends up being multiple because they didn't quite get everything in that screenshot, so they had to overlap it with that one, and it literally gave me a headache, and I still didn't get them properly in order. That was like hurt my brain. Um, I don't know any time on the case, but I'm glad to be here. Oh, yeah, anything on the case, you mean? Um, so anyone that doesn't know about this case, Bossy, it's basically this child, 11-year-old child, um, went missing, and she didn't get on the bus. She didn't ride the bus. She didn't get off the bus and go to school, and she didn't get off the bus when she got home. Now, so basically, this is a missing child's case, but I think this is more going to be of a recovery case, to be honest with you. Um, so, on the best possible scenario, that she's still alive somewhere, not feeling it. Um, Unfortunately, I don't think anything good is going to come from this all, um, besides a lot of sadness and heartache and pain, um, to this child's families. Now, Stephen McDougal, is a friend of Joshua Cunningham, the father. The mother lives in a different spot. Okay. Now, I still didn't dig deep enough to dive why why this child isn't allowed to see the daughter. There obviously had a situation that went on there. And through text messages, you can see it's like he's trying to lure her, you know, like, come on out. I can set this up for you. So I wonder what's going on there with all that. But anyways, so that's really the bottom line of it. And so There's the messages that say he's going to drop her off, like that he dropped her off at the bus stop. I call bullshit. I don't think she ever made it to that bus stop. And if she did, she went right on by it in his truck. And so that's really it. This friend that has, arrest record a mile long, I think I'm just going to probably feel like if birds of a feather flock together, that I'm pretty sure that the father doesn't got no halo over his, head there for sure. So it's kind of like, they've known each other for 7 years. Come on, the father knows what kind of person McDougal is. Anyways, without the expectation to think that this piece of crap would do something, of course, to the child. Now, this is just allegedly because he's not confessed. He's in jail on other charges. The police are asking for videos. They're asking for anyone that has video footage. They were talking about that certain highway that they were looking for footage on, but I'll play the press conference again in just a bit here once Aspen comes. And so, it's just a matter of time. So right now, of course, if they're looking in the river, they're looking for a body. They found the backpack near the dam. They found whatever. My still thing is this a little bit in my head. I'm just kind of wondering if by chance, after the fact, he had went and thrown those things there. Like, it's kind of like, oh, wait, it was over here that I allegedly did something, but let's go throw this over there, because that would be pretty sloppy to leave that kind of evidence, eh? I heard she never made it onto the bus. No, she didn't make it onto the bus. I don't even believe she made it to the bus stop. He probably said he was going to drive her to the bus stop, but what happened was that probably didn't happen. Now again, it's all allegedly, right? It's not like he hasn't been charged with this yet. To me, that is really the key word there. Yet. Okay, you know what? Let me, as we're waiting for Aspen anyway, let me just pull up maybe a couple videos here. Like I said, I don't want to play the press conference one. Let's do this one. I had a couple open here. Now let's do this one. News Now. Let's do that one. This is, I think, a little bit more recent. I think this is it. Is that News Now? I think so, yeah. Okay. This one's 45 seconds long.
Making headlines across the state tonight, we continue our coverage of the missing 11-year-old girl out of Polk County.
Tonight, investigators have confirmed that the person of interest knows AUDRII Cunningham and her family. It's been 5 days since AUDRII disappeared in Livingston. The Polk County Sheriff's Office says she never made it onto her school bus Thursday morning. This afternoon, DPS confirmed the person of interest, 42-year-old Don McDougal, lived in a camper behind her family's home. McDougal also admitted to leaving the home with AUDRII the morning she disappeared, but investigators say he won't tell them if the 11-year-old made it to her bus stop. Right now, he's in jail on an unrelated aggravated assault charge. In 2007, McDougal was convicted of enticing a...
Okay, did we all hear that? He won't tell him if she made it to the bus stop. That's because she didn't make it to the bus stop. He knows she didn't make it to the bus stop. Yeah, in my humble opinion, he's guilty as anything. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, we know when we hear something. This one guy in this Facebook group tried comparing it to, what was her name? Something Strand. Remember the FedEx case where it was like Christmas time and he dropped off a present and people were accusing the father and stuff like that when really it was the FedEx guy, whatever, and stuff like that. It's like, okay, he was comparing it how the internet talked about the father. Okay, dude, and then I put a comment. I don't usually comment, but I said, okay, so let's use some practicality here. There's a difference between internet sleuth blaming people and the lieutenant guy literally saying we have a person of interest. In fact, he's our only person of interest. That's coming from the police. So how are you comparing those two? Because I mean, the thing that he was trying to say was basically like, quit being so judgmental that the father had something to do with it and blah 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 blah. You know, the police know exactly who they have in mind, etc., etc., etc. But it's who cares of what internet sleuths say? Like even what I say, right? I'm just trying to show you stuff, bring you the facts, but what I say is my opinion. Doesn't mean it references what you're thinking at all, you know, because everyone has their own brain cells there. But I just thought it was a little bit different what he was trying to make a point on. Like I said, they literally said we have persons of interest, and then in that next note he says, well, like basically, let's be real, there's one person of interest and his name is Stephen McDougal. um Thought I saw something earlier with him out with Ali. Okay, so you're talking about that video. I know I showed it on my thing and on YouTube, sorry, TikTok as well, because I remember seeing it later, but I'd already seen it on TikTok. So I took it from that lady's post or whatever. And most people hadn't seen that, but then the news station got it. So I know which one you're talking about. The one where he's talking to that police officer at his vehicle, and it's from a street shot view across. That was before the fact. That one. So he's not out. Possibly shall have. I've been driving all day. Well, again, she might have shown that clip. News station, like I said, seen it as well. But that wasn't him out. I remember. I can't remember exactly what their reporter's words were when they played it. Um, they said something like that was, you know, previous to him being taken in or something like that. Or prior was sort of prior to, not previous, prior to. Maybe it was. Maybe you watched a video. No. Okay, I'm not going to lie on this, guys. JLR, you know what's been going through my head is JLR, dude. You want to talk about stories? I'm amazed that JLR is not down in Texas. You know, get off the darn border stories, okay? Because you could have gained at least another 50, 60K subs by covering this story. In fact, and I keep thinking, dude, why aren't you covering this story? Because you know he travels, he does boots on the ground. But anyways, this would definitely a beneficial case to him, um, just for his own YouTube channel, you know, and subs and stuff. And he's like always traveling around. I'm honestly amazed that he's not covering this case. It's like get off the UFOs and the border stuff for a few minutes and get your butt down there and you know show us some of your live video feed. The one thing that I truly like about JLR is that like some channels and other channels, they don't care. Like this channel, I don't care if you guys if another channel uses content from this channel. You know, just like I said, don't do something malicious with it in a sense. You know how those little trolls out there want to do that. But at any point, someone can use content, you know, and stuff like that because you're always so worried if you use somebody else's content, you're going to get a copyright strike, right? And you don't want 3 copyright strikes. If you get 3 copyright strikes, even though they delete after 3 months, your channel will get taken down, right? So let's say I used content of 3 of somebody's videos on different days. 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 right? Because they might not copyright strike it then and there. It might be a month down the road or something like that somebody goes, I hate that person, I'm going to give him a copyright strike. Thanks, Audrey C, on there. But anyways, so there was this one here. Now let me take this one down and we'll go to the other one. I played this one earlier on the other live, but I'll play it here as well. And then you guys can see all the faces of McDougal. Remember, there's a guy that always came into chat with the name McDougal, and I'd always say he reminds me of McDougal trees from RuneScape. And so this guy's happens to name McDougal. Oh, something cool I'll show you in a second, actually, that I can like for me personally, it was cool. But let me play this video. Hi, Chaotic Beauty, how are you doing? And we will play this. You guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite a bit tired. I was doing a lot of things, and I really wanted to have a nap from the last live, like at some point. Never did happen. My husband made me this wonderful drink. His mom had bought me this cup, and I never used it until the other day. It says, "Not a day over fabulous," right, guys? Right, chicks? We know that. Not a day over fabulous. Anyways, it has the most amazing mixture here. It's mm, okay, that's not good on the teeth when it's like that. But anyways, it's Sprite and this coconut rum. Let me tell you, it is so good. So I said to husband, um, can you make me one before the live? So no, I'm not intoxicated or anything like that. I'm just, if anything, I'm just tired. But this drink is really good. Not gonna lie. Okay, let me play this clip for you guys.
Now to new details about the person of interest in the disappearance of 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham. Tonight, we have new video of the suspect just a day after the child went missing and new information from neighbors about the last time they saw the girl. Fox
This
26's
one's like
Abigail
3
Dodd
minutes,
is live
guys.
in Livingston tonight with what she has found. Abigail.
Tom, neighbors say that they saw little Audrey walking to and from school every single day, but they didn't see her Thursday. But her family says that she left around 7 a.m. to walk to the bus stop. So somewhere in that half-a-mile walk is when she disappeared. And we are learning more about this person of interest who has a lengthy criminal history, including crimes against children. This video of Don
video,
Stephen
Charmaine.
McDougal was taken Friday morning off North Washington and Livingston. It appears an officer is questioning him. Authorities took him into custody not long after on an old assault charge. McDougal is a person of interest in the disappearance of 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham. She was reported missing the day before this video was taken, Thursday. Officials say family saw her last at 7 a.m. before she left for the bus stop. It's about a half-mile walk from her home. A neighbor, Denise Colajaco, says she's watched her make it daily, but the last time was Wednesday.
That would have been Valentine's Day. She was walking by. She was giving my dog loving, and I told her Happy Valentine's Day.
Whoops, sorry.
She comes down this street, gives your dog some love on the way to the bus stop every day, but on Thursday,
she never went by.
And so is it your assumption that she did not walk to the bus stop? She got driven that day?
Yes, because the dog will alert us whenever she is walking by.
Authorities say they suspect foul play, and this McDougal has a very lengthy criminal history dating back to 2001. Records show he's been convicted of multiple crimes, including 2 counts of enticement of a child back in 2008. Documents say he was sentenced to 2 years in prison for each count. A search on Facebook pulls up this account, which appears to be McDougal's. He's seen in this photo with a swastika tattoo on his shoulder. Officials haven't confirmed his connection to Audrey, but Colajaco says she's seen him at the home.
I went by there one day and he was there. It was a hi and bye conversation, so I don't know.
Authorities found Audrey's backpack near Trinity River near the dam and have been searching the area since.
We love you and we want you home, Audrey. I'm sorry, baby girl.
Now, authorities have seized McDougal's vehicle that they were once looking for. McDougal
Hey, guess what? I was muted. I forgot. I'm so sorry. I'm sitting there. I was just having a conversation with myself. I was just testing my vocals. Okay. So what I said there was, uh, thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have those moments, right? So anyway, so gaming and sleuthing. What I was saying was, on the 15th of February is when this child went missing. She was supposed to be taken to school by a friend of the dad's that lives on the property. The dad has known this guy for 7 years, but trust me when I say this fellow, and I'll show him. I'll show you a few things again. I mean, the swastika, tat pretty much says a lot. In fact, we're just going to call him a POS, right? We don't even care what his name is anymore. It's just, hey, POS, piece of crap, right? So he basically is claiming that, well, I dropped her off at the bus stop. Well, she never made it to school. She never got on the bus, whatever, da 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 da. So basically, the police are looking for where AUDRII Cunningham is. Now, bottom line is that they're doing this search. He's basically like, hi, I know I have a bunch of charges like a mile long, and I know I have some whatever those charges were, indecency or whatever the word terminology was, but I'm innocent here. I'll tell you where I went. I'll even tell you. To me, it's just a goose chase. Yeah, trash, scum, douche. All those fine words from our vocabulary. Okay, because we're not a news channel, so we can say those words on there. So anyway, dumpster, fire, trash. Okay, there's some. Uh, so no, he's definitely not somebody you can take to the country club. So basically, this gentleman lives on the property. So let's stop this and we'll go back over to Google Earth again. You guys know that I like taking to Google Earth. Sorry, Gray Hughes, it's just not you that likes Google Earth. So this is the home that AUDRII lives at, okay? And I'll take you out of street view for a second. So this is 3231 Lakeside Drive. Now we're gonna go again over to the scenic loop. Oh, you guys feel it? You guys, oh, this is like a free plane ride. You're welcome. So the police are here today at the scenic loop 3277. Okay. Now, where is it on here? Because there was something. It's funny because I'm not seeing it right now. It was the darndest thing. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is okay. This is just an FYI. You don't have to care, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So my mom name that I went by, okay, my original last name is Brown. Okay, that was my dad's last name. My mom, of course, never wanted us to have that last name, so she changed it to her last name, which is Blanchard. So I'm sitting there, taking a picture of this for the TikTok. Okay, if you don't follow me on TikTok, hey, go follow me on TikTok. Anyway, so I was taking a photo of this, and lo and behold, this is what I see. And so I'm looking at this name, Blanchard, which is, and I'm not associated that I know of. I could be down some history with that Blanchard, whatever her name was again. What's her name? Something Rose. I can't think of her name all of a sudden. The Rose Blanchard thing that's in the news with that girl that got out of prison, that one. I kind of hope she's not in my chain of Blanchards. But anyways, so I just thought, Gypsy Rose, thank you so much. Thank you for bringing my brain cells right now because they're just not quite there. But anyways, so that was just like a fun fact so I'm thinking, did I type Blanchard on the screen and didn't know it type of thing? Like, did I pinpoint it? And I'm just like, so I'm scrolling in and I'm like, no, it literally says Blanchard there. It wasn't me that put it there. But I went to go take a photograph of the loop. And like I said, then I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, there's my last name. Well, my last name is Austin because I'm married to my husband, Steve Austin. But anyways, so there we go. See? And that's how when I took the picture, it was like, huh, what the heck? How did that get there? That was just weird, guys. I'm sorry. But when you see, like, it's not like Blanchard's a very common last name, but when you see it on the screen, I literally thought somehow it was tracking me or something. I was like, what? But anyways, so this area here, the scenic loop, okay, is where they're basically in the press conference saying, hey, like I said, don't bug us. We're around here. People are coming down. Let us do our jobs. Piss off is basically what they said. The $6 million hubby that doesn't have $6 million. Trust me, if he was here, probably chances my life would be different, and I probably wouldn't be sitting here on a YouTube channel at this point, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? That would have changed the course of trajectory. I had the meanest patient. Wait, what? Named Blanche. Well, okay, Blanche. Blanche came with the E, and it was off of the word white. And then it morphed into Blanchard, just saying. That's what happened there. So I'm sorry for your experience with this person, the patient. Now, hi, Jackie. Jackie's laughing at me. Are you laughing at me? In a good way, though. Good way. But let me go back to, and it's stop screen here again, present. So, Steffa, if you didn't see this earlier, not too long ago, I had showed this right here. So this is the POS with that name there. He's 5'9", 180 pounds. That's actually one of his better pictures, to be honest with you. And then, of course, this is beautiful AUDRII Cunningham. This is the 11-year-old that was missing. And so in the water near the dam, they found, I know that they found a shoe as well, but they found her backpack, you guys. And her backpack is a Hello Kitty backpack. Like, seriously, right? To have the other Blanche. That's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, I'm just like, hopefully you're in the second Blanchard lifeline over there. Thank you. Sure glad. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. That would be judgmental. Of course, in a good way. Yes, of course. So, just to make this bigger again. So this is the home that I just showed you at 231 Lakeside Drive. Okay, is this one. So that's the home. These are just inside pictures. Again, Don Stephen McDougal, POS. He lives in a trailer on this property. So in a Facebook post to Cassie Matthews, which is the mother, but the mother doesn't seem to have any sort of rights to Cassie. Like, something obviously happened there. And so he had said that he had dropped her off at the bus stop. Yeah, it is a nice house. Ugly on the inside somewhat. Definitely needs to be updated for sure. But it's a very nice little place. And, even on here, stop screen. Let's go back to Google Maps for a second. Even on here, you guys want to go on a ride again? No problem. I'll take you. Look at this. Oh, yeah. And there we are. So, 231 Lakeside Drive, like I said, is the home. And so somewhere on this property would be some sort of, I guess, trailer or something like that. But anyways, if you go over here, look at that, right? Like, there's just water everywhere, isn't there? And so, okay, so there's the loop, if you guys can see. The loop's up here where they're searching now, okay? Remember, they were searching near the dam, and they've been searching different places. But that's it there. But anyways, yeah, nice home. Nice area. Look at all those trees around there, eh? But, water's pretty much at the doorstep, Okay, do we know why? Yeah, well, I think it was just probably basically his friend. I don't know why exactly, but obviously, his friends, he's been friends for 7 years, and he's probably helping a buddy out and being like, hey, you can, right, probably because it's free, you know. So it is so Joshua Cunningham, which is the father, probably was like, hey bud, no problem. You can live in this whatever, just give me a few $100 a month or something like that. Probably something like that. I support feisty, right? I hope they punch him out. Hope they freaking knock his teeth out. Anyways, it's what? I started this live at 7. Aspen Connor, you said you were going to be about 15 to 20 minutes late. Hold on, let me go look at his message. Let me see exactly what he did say to me, just so I can. Let's see. Oh yes. Hey, what you want to talk about tonight? This one. I may be 15 to 20 minutes late, but I'm going to try to hurry. Do you guys see any pep in his step? Do you guys see Aspen Connor here? It's 45 after. It's 45 minutes ago. That is double the time of what he said he was going to do. So I'm going to play the press conference for people that haven't seen that. Aspen hasn't seen it. I call him Adam, okay? Aspen Connor. He hasn't seen it. That is a lot of woods and a lot of water to get through. Absolutely. I mean, think of there's been a lot of cases, like even the Summer Wells case and stuff like that, where you kind of from Google Earth, you look down and you're like, good fight. Or you go to the desert, and you just look and it's like desert, and you're trying to find somebody's bones in like a needle in a haystack of a desert, That's crazy. Athena Strand. Thank you, Boston Christian. That's what I was thinking about. Athena Strand. Another very sad case. So does anyone know his timeline? Well, we don't know his timeline. So the police are doing conferences, but they're not giving his timeline. A reporter asked for the timeline in a sense today, like, hey, can you name some of the places that he's telling you he was at on this particular day and stuff like that? But they're like, no, that's part of the investigation. We're not going to give you that info. Can you imagine how many TikTokers, YouTubers would be down there? Probably, going to all those different locations as well. Police don't need stuff like that. But yeah, so I can understand, of course, why they wouldn't say that. Now, let's see. When was the last time the dad and grandmother saw her? Was it in the morning? Yeah, it would have been in the morning. Like, I don't know about the grandma, like it just depends what time the grandma or whatever got up. Did you see that tattoo video? Yeah, the tattoo video didn't bug me whatsoever at all. Because that's something that I would do. If someone gave me the opportunity to freaking do that, I literally saw nothing wrong with that video. Now, on the other hand, if he was doing it for the sake of being near a child and that child, even touching him and doing this, that's a whole different sick, twisted mindset. But to think of a child tattooing, and stuff like that. I mean, the guy has a ton of tattoos, and she was doing a pretty darn good job of doing that little tattoo. But what was funny with me was why somebody in chat the one day said, well, why did she say the word casket? So I ended up coming across that tattoo video, and it was like, the name was Andy, because he said, do you know what that person's last name was? And she said, Casket. So I don't know if that person maybe didn't listen fully to that tattoo video, because she's like, because I had no idea, like, was there a casket on a tattoo on his arm? She said casket, but no, it was to a person's name. She shouldn't be around him, period. Well, that's just it, right? I mean, hindsight says, right? Hindsight says, but birds of a feather flock together, okay? Because I'm pretty sure that Papa there, that Joshua Cunningham, he probably isn't no upstanding citizen himself. I'm pretty much guarantee that without even having to look at his history. Okay. You are who your friends are. It's that simple. Who your friends are says a lot about who you are. And that is the truth. And so in hindsight, people can go, She should have never been around that guy and da. Again, depends what lifestyle you lead. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean that a child should be around that. But I'm pretty sure that even the father, if allegedly that McDougal, POS, took, did this and hurt Audrey, like killed her, even I'm sure the father wouldn't think that this friend that he's known, he might be a POS in a lot of ways, but never think, of course, that this oh, finally, here he comes. Whoops, I don't want to get that view. That view. 1 second, my husband just came in. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, so just 15 minutes late. Sorry.
Yeah, just 15.
Just 15.
Just 15. It's okay. Did you hear me when I was griping a minute ago?
No, I literally have not opened anything. I've not looked at the live or anything, so I was just trying to get here and frustrated, but I'm here now.
Well, you know what? Steffa was going on about how you're not here, right? Yeah. And she was kind of dissing you just a little bit, to be honest with you. And I was like, whoa, Steffa, chill. It's okay if he takes a little bit longer.
I'm sorry, everyone.
No, I didn't look at the time whatsoever.
Yeah.
Wasn't noticing that it was 45 after when I was like, hey, let me just go back to your message. But I'm pretty sure that Steffa made me say it.
Normally my schedule is pretty predictable, but today was just one of those days, so I do apologize.
You know what?
Now, if you could just be a doll and start the live over and fill me in on everything that's happened in this case.
Support with Steffa. Oh my God, look at her nose just grow. Aspen, that's a lie. You think honestly he believes you, okay? Hey, you can't even tell north from south of trees, okay? Miss Tree Specialist over there. You think he's going to believe you on that one as well? I don't think so. Okay, well, you know what? What I'm going to do for you, Aspen, I'm just going to call you Adam. I don't care. I'm not even going to try to say Aspen, okay? One time I'll say that is when somebody says, who's Aspen? Or who's Adam? And I'll just be like, okay, I'm going to play the press conference. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, good.
I was waiting for you. I didn't want to play it without you. That's a little bit of love right there, is it not? I feel like it is. So let me just...
I will say quickly, in Steffa's defense, when I look at a map of Delphi, I can barely tell north, south, east, or west. Because I'm the south end of the bridge looks like east to me.
I get it. Remember, I even got on that at one point. It's kind of like, it's kind of like your lefts and rights. Those kind of suck too. Right. To be honest with you. Yeah. But honestly, put me in a car and I'm like, okay, so mountains are north, but wait, there's mountains all around. Wait, what?
They're not always north.
So never eat shredded wheat, but stick me in a vehicle, put me on Google Maps. The thing is right there pointing the arrow for me. Stick me in a vehicle. Unless that thing's telling me northeast, south, or west, I have no clue. I know that BC is here and that to the east is Alberta, but I couldn't tell you if you're driving which way I'm facing. It's like brain work. I don't like brain work. I'm trying to think too hard on that stuff. Okay, let me find this. So this is the press conference. Are you ready for it? Hold on a second.
Yeah,
let's see. Thank you for coming to my rescue. Okay, let's ignore that message. Moss always grows to the north side of a tree. That is, I did not know this. Yes. Is that where the magic mushrooms grow as well?
You have to ask Deb.
Right? On the north side of a tree? Yes. Use the sun as your guide. I suppose. Is it supposed to be like a clock?
Wait,
well, what?
You mean the sun in the sky or the sun on my
right here.
screen?
Like here? Like this one? Yeah. Because let's just say I'm outside and I'm looking at the sky and the sun's over there. Well, where does my clock start? Which way do I face for the clock? If I'm using the sun as a clock, I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Meaning, well, where's 12 o'clock then? So I know where if I knew that straight ahead of me is the clock, but maybe the clock is over here.
Honey. Just pull your compass out. Every iPhone has one.
Great. Thank you. But what happens if your phone's dead, your battery dies, and you got no freaking idea which way freaking it is, right? Just scenarios, just in case. But anyways, I suck at it myself. It took my dad 40 years to stop telling me to turn northeast. I know. I literally hate that when people say that. Well, people go like, is it east or west? You know, type of thing. After a while, because people ask you it enough sometimes, you just go, now I know the answer to this. Okay, I'm ready for you. Okay. Anyways, let's play this press conference, you guys. And it's not exactly deep and involving, to be honest with you, but we'll play it anyway. Let's just get to the part where he's talking, really.
Byron Lyons and Polk County District Attorney.
Oh, I bet Toe Pleasanby is jealous of his get up.
I want to say that investigators are following.
No one can be jealous of shit brown color.
That and evidence that we have
He
gathered.
looks good in Toe Pleasanby looks good in his shit brown color.
Investigators by the community have been very helpful.
Sun, Star, and Moon.
We're looking for and asking the public's help for additional video on FM 3126 that shows the highway.
I'm gonna hear, but I'm gonna hear it.
Been on
I can barely hear it.
February 15th.
It's on its loudest.
I know.
6:30 a.m.
Yeah, I'll turn my volume up.
8 a.m.
How about you do that?
Again, that's video from FM.
Turn up your guys' volume if it's
on
low.
Thursday, February 15th, between
Want me to make it
6:30 a.m. and 8 a.m. that shows the highway.
bigger?
I also want to announce the Polk County Crime Stoppers reward has been increased to $10,000 for information leading to the arrest and prosecution of the person responsible for Audrii's disappearance.
I think you might have already arrested
We
him.
are asking the public, based on the evidence that we have been getting right
I
now,
think you might have already
stay
arrested
away
him.
from Scenic Loop FM 3277 unless you have a need to be there. That is a potential point of interest in this investigation. We've had a lot of people driving down there. Please stay away. Let the investigators do what they are doing and our volunteers what they are doing so that we can bring Audrey home. We also want to say that we're thankful for the Polk County District Attorney's Office for their continued legal advice as they provide that to investigators in this continued search for Audrey. The investigators have given McDougal, who was arrested Friday on an unrelated charge, several opportunities to cooperate, and we remain hopeful that he will begin helping in this case. Now, we also want to address some rumors that have been circulating. McDougal is not required to register as a sex offender. We would refer you to the various counties that prosecuted McDougal for inquiries regarding his criminal history. And we also want to say that McDougal resides in a camper behind the residence where Audrey lives with her father, grandparents, and other family. The family does have a relationship with McDougal. And with that, I want to turn it over to Polk County Sheriff Byron Lyons for some remarks for him before we open it up for questions.
Good afternoon. Since Audrey was reported missing, we have been working with investigators and volunteers, doing everything we can to bring Audrey home. Unfortunately, I've had bronchitis and it has impacted my ability to speak. So that is why I want to say first, thank you to the Department of Public Safety and to the FBI for assisting me with the social media and my media briefings. I also want to take a moment to thank all the investigators and the volunteers and members of the community who are working to bring Audrey home. The outpouring of support from the tips and from the videos and the donations of food and water has just been inspiring. As a community, as a county, as a state and a nation, the search for Audrey has brought out some of the most exceptional people that I have come to know. I have been in contact with the family, and they want everybody to know that they thank you and they appreciate all the prayers. And
stay strong,
you've kept
stay
Audrey
strong, don't
and
go
them
weak.
in your hearts. And they just ask that you continue to pray for them and Audrey's being able to bring her home. And I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has helped in this case. Any other questions?
Now that you're looking for where McDougal's vehicle was the morning that Audrey disappeared, are you able to confirm that he was the last person seen with her in the home and he was then taken to the bus stop?
He was supposed to be taking her to the dropping off at the bus stop, and we do feel at this point that he was the last person who seen Audrey. there has been information found that there were some occasions that he did drop her off at the bus stop or even take her to school if she missed the bus. McDougal has not confessed. He has been talking with some of the investigators, but at this point in time, he has not confessed. You know, and that's kind of why one of the reasons that we're asking for the videos. We're trying to piece together a timeline of where he's been and the travel that he took, the roadways that he took. So this area is just one that's in particular that we can say that we know that he was in, and so we're making sure that we do extensive search of those areas. But the problem is that when we have a lot, and I know that people are concerned and people want to help, but a lot of time when we bring too many people into an area, it hinders our efforts in being able to try to find and locate evidence.
Do you guys know if that was Audrii's backpack that was found the other day?
We feel strongly today that that backpack that was found is a high probability that it's going to be Audrii's.
There's a lot of water around her home.
A high, strong possibility. Come on. Yes. Jennifer Coffindaffer even already said it was. That's her backpack.
Or you'll have to fill me in on the bag. I don't know about the
Okay.
bag.
Yes, we do feel as though we are investigating a criminal investigation, and at this point in time, as we conduct our
Backpack, yeah.
investigation, we are not leaving out or adding in any
Oh,
just
his nails
charges.
are
We are
long.
investigating the evidence as if any, if we find any, and then we'll let
You
that
know what? You're
be
right.
determined. You know, once
Yeah,
we
for a
get all
man,
the
those
evidence
are
put
long
together,
nails.
what charges, if any, will be filed.
No offense. I mean, I like him.
We'll just send Steffa down. She can go. Like, it's like he almost has a pedicures.
Yeah.
And be honest with you, I don't know. I can't answer
I mean,
that right now
manicure.
because it's in another county. The only thing that I've been able to find out that it was not something that they were able to require him to register for as a sex offender.
Have you found water taken McDougal to
I agree, gaming.
the Trinity River since he's been arrested?
There have been some occasions where, on one occasion where we have taken McDougal, that he agreed to work with us and has taken us to certain locations.
Has agreed to work with them, right? Isn't that the biggest laugh?
And they took him to a certain location.
Certain locations.
Nothing to see here.
I know, right? I think he's taking him on a goose chase, to be honest. It always sucks when we don't hear with a question.
Oh,
You know,
I know.
sucks.
No. And see, one of the
Note to
things
self,
in
if you're
our
ever giving a
investigation,
press
when we conduct
conference,
investigation, we want to
repeat the
make sure
question into the
we capture
microphone.
a good timeline. So even if we're looking at a projected time, say if it's 7, we still want to go to back up, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, because we want to know exactly what the individual or suspects may have been doing up until that point. Someone asked about water around the house.
Around the house, has that area been searched?
That-
Okay.
That was the first area on the night that she was reported missing. Volunteers came together with law enforcement. That was the first area the subdivision searched.
Right.
No. No. Let me take that.
6:45.
6:45 is when we felt like she went missing. I'm hoping and praying that she's still alive. I am not giving up hope that we'll be able to bring Audrey home. So, yes, I am hoping that she yet is still alive. And we're going to work just as hard to make sure that we do everything that we can to try to bring her home.
Sheriff, is there any other person of interest in this case?
Okay, we got a couple questions at a time. Right here.
When you say is he being cooperative, I think that Mr. McDougal, he is what he's doing on occasions. He will, and I use that word cooperate lightly, but he is somewhat, working and talking with the investigators
That's probably how my exes would refer to
we are
me.
very cautious on the information that he's giving.
They would use the word cooperating lightly.
I would say this, that there are, at this point, Mr. McDougal is our main person of interest.
See?
But we are not ruling out anyone else
See,
who may be.
Now he's changing the words of the guy behind
We
him.
are not just honing in on just this one individual. We're making sure that
That's a
we're
lie.
covering all stones.
Yeah, that's a lie.
I anticipate that if the evidence presents itself that proves that Mr. McDougal has committed an offense or crime, that charges will be filed at him. Okay. So in speaking with the Rangers, we're just asking them, hey, take us to where in any places that you think or where you may have been. And so he has done that on one occasion. Okay, and kind of like I addressed in my opening statement, is that I am so grateful for those who have came out and volunteered, raised their hands to want to participate. And yes, the volunteers have been great and have been very valuable to us. But one of the things that we have to do is that we have to limit and we have to make sure that we don't overdo it. Because remember, we are yet still, while we try to bring AUDRII home, we are yet still making sure that if there's evidence or if there's anything that we need to capture or anything that we need to be able to retain, we want to make sure that we don't have so many people that we damage or destroy evidence at the time. So the way we are today, we had the volunteers meeting over at Tigerville's Park. And then as we needed them, we would send an officer over to get those folks and then take them into an area to help search.
Okay.
At this time right now, we don't want to share locations that he's taken us to, other than to say that there are multiple places of interest that we have gone to and have made searches, and I'm sure before this day is out, we'll be searching other locations.
Virtually the same thing, to be honest.
Right.
And really, when it comes down to it, I wasn't there with those officers, and so I can't answer to exactly what was just said, other than these are just places that he instructed them to go.
Has McDougal made a claim that he dropped her off at the school bus?
No. The only thing at this point in time right now that I can speak to for sure is going to be that backpack.
Is that what?
You know, and that's the thing, is that we have to just continue to work all the leads that he's presenting to us. Whether or not they're false or not, it depends upon how it works out and how the investigators are able to put those pieces together.
Are you guys able to count with cell phone records, maybe like where it used to be?
We are working with every tool made available to us, whether it be cell phone, whether it be video, which has been an awesome tool for us. We are using every tool made available to us to try to piece together a window or a picture of where he may have gone. I'm sorry, repeat that. At this time right now, he has not acknowledged that, whether or not she's made it, whether or not he dropped her off or she made it to the bus stop or not.
Has he admitted to leaving?
Yes.
Can you clarify that location where you're telling people to stay away from? It's called Scenic Route, is the name of it, where it is?
It's off of the Scenic Loop. It's the, well, let me say this. It's in the Scenic Loop area there near Tigerville Park. If I say on national television, don't go to this specific location, kind of defeat my purpose. But I am saying that there are officers that's in the area who are instructing people or directing people away from those areas. Please work with those officers if they ask you to turn around or they ask you to go into another location while they would search those areas.
I have so many questions.
No answer, sorry.
Well, our thing is, and the district attorneys here, one of the things that we must do is that we must not jump to conclusions. We want to make sure that we take all the evidence that we have collected. Yes, he may have been the last person with her, and yes, she is missing at this time, but we want to make sure that whatever evidence that we collect and that we place on an affidavit today is going to be something that's going to hold up in the court later. Um, it does us no
Right,
good to
McDougal.
prematurely
See?
charge him now, and then 3-4 months from now it get tossed out of court because we were moving too
See, it's
fast.
their only
So I
suspect.
ask you, please understand as we work carefully through this, because Audrey deserves this. She deserves us taking our time. She deserves us making sure that we do it right. She deserves to have her voice to be heard. And I want to make sure that we do that and we do it the right way.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah, exactly, Angel.
I will
Give
say
me.
this. We
I
are
need some
using
Doug
every
Carter
tool made
training.
available to us
Yeah.
to be able to work cell phones and videos and video to be able to try to track his movements that morning.
Has any other person of interest come to fruition and have they been eliminated?
There have been other persons that we have certainly have looked at, and at this point in time, we're not ruling anyone out. You know, at this point, we are still, it's an active investigation, and everybody's going to be looked at. Everybody's going to be maintained until we
Right,
can
Angel.
definitely say for
No
sure
one's been
whether
cleared.
you are or you're not a party to this investigation.
Right. One man, one
I
suspect.
To
appreciate
be
the guy
so,
behind him who's like
what I
giving
can go through it on that
nonverbal
was it was an aggravated assault that took place
language
um,
through the roof.
August, I believe, and that in that investigation there were some
Oops,
um,
sorry.
during that investigation, there was some circumstances that took place that would not allow us to be able to arrest him at that time, and he would
Wait,
not
they would what?
cooperate, would not basically lawyer up, would not talk with the investigators. But
So
on
can you rewind that just a little bit,
I
Sonny?
think
I want to hear that part again.
there was some circumstances August, I believe, and that in that investigation
I
there
was
was
on it
some
before you
um,
asked.
during that investigation, there was some circumstances that took place that would not allow us to be able to arrest him at that time, and he would not cooperate, would not basically lawyer up, would not talk with the investigators. But on I think Saturday, Friday night, whichever night he was arrested, he did make the statement to that offense, which at that point in time he was arrested for.
Hmm.
It was he aggravated assault. He
Hey,
assaulted
Frank.
another individual.
What is the deal here?
Yeah, that's only one of 20 of his charges.
We've also heard that he has, obviously a violent criminal history. There's also been some that he has affiliation with the Aryan Brotherhood. Are you able to confirm that?
We have heard those same things, and we've been told that there is an affiliation with the Aryan Brotherhood. Those are some things that we will
Oh,
come back
great. Odinism.
after we are able to get relocated, and we will tie those things down
Right.
to prove whether or not he's affiliated or not.
Are you
It's
guys doing an
Odinism.
innocent search for any evidence in the house, the RV, the home itself?
Those things have been done. Yes, ma'am.
Isn't every case now?
Have you had
Yeah.
talk with dad or family members?
Yes,
Have they cooperated?
very much so.
It's almost over. Just got another minute
I
here.
mean, I'm gonna have to watch it like 5 more times before I like make sense of any of it. None of this makes sense to me.
And for this to be our last question, to answer your question is that basically the way it was explained to us is that he was a friend of the family, a friend of the father, and he was allowed to live there in a trailer behind the house. And
Never a
he
good
was a
idea.
friend of the families. And basically that's why he was there, allowed to live there. I appreciate what everyone has done. I appreciate your helping us get Audri's story out there.
Get your nails
Thank
cut.
you so much for your diligence in this. And I ask you,
Go cut your nails.
Okay, then. We'll wrap up that.
I mean,
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, where do I even start?
Well, with one question at a time. Go ahead.
Okay. So I have not followed this case super close. I saw when you first put out the thing. Was that Saturday?
You're the one that sent me this case.
Well, I know, but I haven't followed it super close. So was it Saturday that you made the flyer for it? That you shared that flyer?
You asking me in my old brain to remember things?
Yeah, anyway. So when did so Audri's 11 years old, right?
Correct.
So when she went missing, she was last seen in the evening on Friday, correct?
No, that's incorrect. Okay. So she was taken to school in the morning, right? So on Friday. Hold on. Thursday. Hold on.
Or Thursday. Okay.
It was Thursday, the 15th. Thursday.
Yes.
So a neighbor saw her, or no, sorry, hold on, scratch that. I don't know who was up at that time, but because the dad had already gone, I think was going to work on the boat or something like that. So he was gonna drop her off, and I almost think that he's done this before. The way it sounded like he's done this before, takes her to school by the messaging, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, yeah, McDougal.
Yeah, and it's that he's taken her to school in the past. Right.
Yes, and so again, so he's like, yeah, I dropped her off at the bus stop.
So, and I'm sorry for asking stupid questions, but I'm just trying to because like I said, I saw this case when it first happened, but I haven't really followed it this weekend. I haven't looked into it too much. So okay, so she left for school.
Yeah.
Thursday morning. McDougal would occasionally take her to school when she would miss the bus or whatever. What schedule did the parents keep? Do you know? Were they home? Were they gone in the morning? Is it normal that her parents would not be home when she left for school in the morning? That would give McDougal the access to take her to school?
And so the mom isn't even allowed to see her.
Okay.
The actual mom. So at that property.
Is there a stepmom?
Does he have a girlfriend, guys?
I'm quizzing you. Sorry. I'm just trying to keep it. I'm just trying to get it all clear in my head.
So, in saying that, I don't know fully the answers to that. I know that the dad. What was said was the dad went to go work on the boat. That he was going to go work on the boat that day. So he got this guy, McDougal, to take her to the bus stop. Now, a lot of times she walks because the neighbor says that, typically every day she walks by, and pats her dog. And she said that day the dog didn't bark. And normally when Audrey comes by, she barks. And on the 14th, Audrey said, Happy Valentine's Day. I don't know that there is a girlfriend or something. At least not that I know of. There could be.
And McDougal is a friend of the dad's, right? So
correct. Okay. So
this. When I knew you were covering this, and I said this weekend, I didn't have a chance to really look in depth to it, but I feel like sometimes it's beneficial to not know a ton about things, so that when you're telling me stuff now, I'm like, okay, because you get that fresh perspective.
Let me put it this
right. I mean, I could be completely full of shit, but
if you,
I'm just giving you my.
Oh, 1 second here. I think it's this one right here. Pretty sure it's this Facebook group right here. Yeah, it's this one here. So I'll drop this Facebook group link. If you want to go read the different things that are put out there, so Cassie Matthews is the mother. Okay. Right. She doesn't live with there. And the whole thing is that there's this conversation that she posted in that chat group about, basically he's a POS and it's like he was trying to lure her or something there. And we'll we'll get to some of those in a minute. So I can't tell you for sure. I just remember hearing that the dad had went to go work on the boat at the dock.
Okay.
And
But
so
they had a prior like they were friends.
7 years.
So that's how the guy had access to,
Right.
like he was literally living in a trailer on their property.
Absolutely. And
So,
this is
and what led this guy to be living in a trailer on
Don't
the
know.
property of his buddy,
right. Don't know. Somebody else.
except for his million charges that he's had.
Right, exactly. So he's living in a trailer, probably needed that helping hand from, his friend, whatever offered him again to, I feel like this is like I said earlier, you probably didn't hear, but that friends, birds of a feather flock together,
Right. Well, that's
um,
what I wonder. Like, does the dad have like a long rap sheet or anything?
well,
Because
I
I mean,
never,
this guy, I'm like, how did this guy not have a like
oh,
a red
right.
flag on his name?
So I didn't personally look up the dad,
All
to be
right.
honest with you. I mean, because there's some things I don't care about. There's some things I do. To me, the dad's not going to have anything to do with this.
No,
Besides,
I'm not. Yeah, and I'm
no,
not.
but some people are claiming that, right?
Right. I'm
This
sure
is,
the dad is heartbroken.
yeah, this is specifically, like for instance, there was a post by I can't remember the name, and she said basically like you didn't take care of like some I think his nickname might be Lucky. Anyways, it says you didn't take care of her and blah 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 blah. We all know that Aaron took care of that child and da 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 da. So there's a lot of slamming in
Right.
that Facebook from people because it's kind of like family members, and so you got Cassie Matthews that's in there, which is the mother of Audrey,
Who
kind of
who has nothing to do with her, right?
well, yeah, so I'm not sure what that reason is either. I don't know if anyone really knows besides friends, family members, and whoever, because, whatever it is, she's not allowed to see her daughter, whatever reason. So let me just say this: it's feeling to me a little bit like homes that I wouldn't want my child to, parents that I wouldn't really want my child to have. I'll put that nicely.
To me, it feels a little bit just on the peripheral. Like, remember the girl that ordered the I Can Do Everything Barbie and like the Amazon driver?
Yeah.
Like the mom wasn't allowed to see her, but she
Right.
lived with the step parents. That was I think Oklahoma or Texas as well. But
yeah.
I mean, there's so many things that I just am curious about this case because there are no clear answers.
No, well, I mean, the thing is that if you look at the messages that were sent, now I didn't get them in any sort of order because I was trying to, but it gave me a headache when I decided I was going to,
I haven't seen these.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, the thing was, I was trying to put them in order, Adam, and because you know how you're like, well, which one's first? Like they're all saying 11:34, 3, and I'm trying to figure out which one's first and which one's whatever. And I was getting there, and then I ran out of time.
And where did these come from?
So these are from Cassie, the mom.
Right, and they're from Facebook Messenger, clearly.
Correct. Right. And then that's just it. You are who your friends are. If you have pieces of shit friends, I'm sorry, but you are typically a piece of shit yourself. It just goes without saying. If you hang around with people, that are undesirables in this life, chances are you're an undesirable yourself.
Sunny's constantly judged for her affiliation with me.
Right. Right. Exactly. But like all you have to do is go to somebody's Facebook and you can instantly see are they insecure and needy for females that post thousands of pictures of themselves because they need some sort of compliment to make themselves feel better because they can't just go off of feeling better themselves. They need the admiration of others and the constant validity of others and stuff like that, or when you go on a thing and all you see is like a junkyard, like all I'm thinking about right now when I say that, of course, is Jason Palladino and their yard.
Right.
Just,
I mean, like, have you been blocked by Tony Klein? Because, I mean, if not.
Right. So, and that's exactly it. You are only as good as the company you keep. And so, nobody would want something to happen to Audrey, of course. But, I mean, like I said, you don't really know someone, do you? And although this Joshua, the Cunningham dad, obviously knows what a POS this guy is, including probably maybe himself, know what a POS he is. He's not, he probably doesn't know exactly what all his rap sheet entails.
Right, because his rap sheet is not good.
No, and the thing is, I'm probably pretty sure, and I said this earlier on the live without looking at it, I'm sure Mr. Joshua Cunningham has a good little rap sheet himself in there,
Right.
or definitely some charges. I'm not seeing this high upstanding, family circle stuff going on, but I don't like.
Well, he clearly was the better of the two parental figures to be able to.
I don't know.
Oh,
let's compare Adam Montgomery and
wow. Well, again, exactly, but a court decided that Adam Montgomery was more capable of taking care of Harmony. We clearly know that was a horrible mistake, but what was the reason that that this court decided that? And I don't know enough about this, and I don't want to attack the families at all. I'm just curious as far as, I have a lot of questions because this case seems to be clear cut. Like there seems to be something about it that shouldn't be a lot of questions, yet there are. So I'm curious. I want to hear these screenshots.
Well, it just sucks because I don't have them in order, and I was trying to, but it was giving me such a headache because I couldn't figure out where it started and whatever. So I'll just simply read them, just because my brain hurt. Like I was trying to do it, Adam, and it took me over an hour.
Okay, and these were these are just online.
Pardon? Yes,
these have just been put online.
Yeah, so I put them on the Facebook group, I put the link to the Facebook group so people can go over there and check out all the different things that are being said.
Well, we know the first two are first, and then the last one, right?
No.
11:33, 11:33, 11:46.
Well, that one is because that's the only one that says 11:46. Right. Every other one says, hold on, I gotta minimize this for a second. Every other one I'm on. See?
Oh, there's several of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So let's just go to the start, and we'll just read it right now. I'll put them in order later.
Right. So am I the only one that's in the chat that's kind of just hearing some of this for the first time? So because I apologize if I am. If so, I can catch up later. But I've assumed that with 65 people watching, someone else is probably seeing this for the first time as well.
Yeah, some people have seen these. They've been out since she went missing, basically. So I'll just start reading. Here, I'm going to take myself off because I have to go to a different page here. Okay. And then, so the first one says, I'm just going to read it how it is. Sorry, guys, that it's not going to be in order. So just make sense of it the best way you can. So it says, ain't nothing wrong with me. I was meaning it disrespectful, but it's something that you would want and can't talk about on it here. And then, so hold on. He is talking in the purple colors, okay? So that's his thing, his profile or whatever. Okay.
Right. And we don't know what date these are from, right?
Yeah. No, it didn't show the date that I recall.
Is it after she went missing?
No, it was before.
Okay.
Well, no, there was a part of it afterward where she's basically right here. I think, oops, shoot, where did I go? Went to a different page.
I'm sorry. I'll let you read because
yeah, just let me read it and then we'll whatever. And then he says it's not something you can call me about ? And she says I did call. And this is of course Audri's mom. I just think that way you came about was extremely inappropriate and was disrespectful not only to Justin but me as well. So I believe that Justin is her other half. So then it says audio call, video call, chat. What's up? I'm super effing livid. My home or whatever because I don't understand. And see, like I hate the fact that this is out of order. And then at 7, okay, I'll be awake by 6:30 or 7:40. I do love her, and I pray there is no setup more for bad things to come to me when all I want to know my child. Good night. Hope to hear from her tomorrow. And then morning, good morning. I hope I hear from her this morning, and please let her know that if she changed her mind, that it is perfectly okay too. And I understand. So this one shouldn't be now. There should be another one before this. Don't want her feeling pressured. So I know it's not going to be a thing today. When she's ready, please let me know. So this is about him trying to set up that he's going to bring her over to her house that day after school to basically sneak and let her see him. But it was like creep vibes from the mom for sure. Like about him, like it's almost like she said something about like, well, how about Justin doesn't come or whatever. Anyways, hey, so see here. So Thursday at 6:46 p.m. Hey, have you seen Audrey? I dropped.
When did he say yes? When did he say yes, ma'am?
Like right here.
Yeah, 3:50. So wait, Thursday at what 2 what or 3:19?
Yeah. So
y'all have a good day, man.
See,
and then,
hey, thanks.
Yes, ma'am is a weird response. Like, who says yes, ma'am to someone they like literally like had a child with? Yes, ma'am.
No, this isn't the one he had a child with. This, okay, so this is
that's not with Audri's mom.
No, so what? Right, Audri's mom is talking to Stephen McDougal, Don Stephen McDougal.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. That's right. The suspect.
Yeah, but now that you see
person of interest, but it's still a weird response.
Yeah, it's like there was
like, who says yes, ma'am, randomly like that? Unless,
right?
Like that's a weird deflection. I feel like.
Yeah. Like
good morning.
Says, y'all have a good day, man. Yes, ma'am. I can see that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, and ma'am. Then so this is Thursday, 12:28 a.m. Right. So they're having so I could tell
into the early hours the night before she goes missing.
Yeah, exactly. And then he says, I dropped her off at the bus and she didn't get on and hasn't gotten home.
Wait, and she didn't get on.
Yeah.
And I dropped her off at the bus and she didn't get on and hasn't gotten home.
Yeah, but this is after the fact, right?
Like right.
This is one of those things that he's saying it dropped her off. You know, she didn't get on, but then he's saying to the police, well, I don't know if she got on or not, you know, because I'm innocent. I just dropped her off and then somebody else must have abducted her, you know, kind of thing during that time. Okay. So then see, I don't know when this time is. It says, I mean, Justin, see, this is part of the later conversation as well. Cause it says, I mean, Justin can walk around the park and we can talk to you. This whole thing scares me and that's fine. So this is the part that has to do with him trying to set up to meet the daughter that day after school, basically to sneak and have her and Justin meet at the park or something. But hey, just have Justin walk around, you know, type of thing. And I'll sit there all nicely with Audrey, and then you can kind of like talk to her. But again, these aren't in order, and I'm just pissed off about that because it's very frustrating trying to read it without the times. Like those other ones had Thursday, so you could clearly see. Now this is all during that same day still, or the same.
These messages don't make sense.
I know.
These messages all read like there's something being left out.
So right,
like what does that mean? You are not a bad person, and she deserves the chance to know that.
Where are you reading that?
The first line there. Oh, I see the wrong with it, and
okay. Yeah, so yeah. Oh, I see the wrong with it, and I'm trying to fix it or fix what I see wrong. You are not a bad person, and she deserves the chance to know that. Again, referring to the mother, the mother obviously doesn't have custody and whatever for a reason. When do you want to do this? You want
do
to
what? Right? Like do what?
Meet up. Okay, because
you want to do it tomorrow.
Yeah, which is the Thursday. And it says, look, it's one thing to have you say it, but before we meet tomorrow at the park, I need to hear her say it herself, either in a video or on the phone.
Say what?
Well, because she thinks she's seeing red flags here. She doesn't trust this dude. Okay. So he's saying basically like, hey, you know what? I can make it so that you can see your daughter. You're not a bad person. I can do this for you. Let's meet at the park. And, because Audrey's asking about you and da 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 da. So the reason why she's saying it that way is that she wants Audrey to say it on a voice is because clearly she doesn't trust that this is real, in a sense that he's having her meet her there for maybe ulterior motives or something. So that's why she's saying, I don't want to hear this just from you. I want to hear this from Audrey as well.
Right.
So,
but then why does he follow up with, okay, well, I'll take her to school tomorrow? That feels like this was before the Thursday.
No, this wasn't. Yeah. No.
Well, then I'll take her to school tomorrow.
This is like the night before.
Yeah, so it's before Thursday.
Well, they talked into the night, right?
Right.
So they went from Thursday into Friday morning still talking. So this is probably like, if we looked at the time, it's probably on Thursday.
Or Wednesday night. Wednesday into Thursday.
Wednesday, sorry, why am I saying, Wednesday. So let's see. It says, look, it's one thing to have you say it, right? Okay. That is what she wants, is to meet and talk to me. She doesn't have to say nothing more, nothing less, please. You don't know what I've been through trying to have anything to do with her or the harassment from his friends and such because of the lies they have been told. I need reassurance. And he goes, okay, I will take her to school tomorrow. And then she says, after school, correct?
What does that even mean? Like, I will take her to school tomorrow after school?
No. So, basically, again, if these were in order, it would make sense to you better.
Well, no, I mean, but that message is that those are back to back. Those are in order. Okay, I will take her to school tomorrow after school, correct? Like that's silly sounding.
Well, no, but she's saying after school, correct, meaning because he said after school he will bring her to the park or whatever.
Right.
So that's why he's saying, okay, I will take her to school tomorrow. And she's like, after school, correct? Meaning about the meetup.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what that's referring to. And then, so what is
this guy had more access to this child than just, he lived in the back of the house or in a trailer in the backyard. And if she missed the bus, he would take her to school. He was pre-planning his actions with her and his access to the child.
Yeah, the first and second are backwards. It's almost like, whoops, oh my God.
I mean, because if Wednesday night or Thursday morning he was already saying, I'll take her to school, then he was already planning on having access to her that morning.
It's almost like this one should be here. You want to do it tomorrow? Yeah.
He had her tattooing him. What?
Well, no shit. Okay, there's a video of her giving him a tattoo. And honestly, though, it's not. I don't see anything. I mean, besides if he's doing it for creep vibes and stuff like that, you know. But I mean, she was tattooing him on the arm. No big deal to me. I mean, the guy has tons of tats. He's probably said, "Hey, Audrey, want to try to give me a tat?" Why wouldn't she? She's known. 69 people watching. Thank you. Perfect position.
Right.
Perfect year.
But I mean, this guy had access to this child.
Yeah, but of course, because he's the dad's friend.
Well, I mean, I know, but I mean,
like he lived on the property. He was friends. He was in the house.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, he seemed to have a different level of access.
Well, but that's
it's not just like he's like, oh yeah, you know, like it's not like you're, oh, here's my buddy's kid. He's like, I mean, he was making plans for this child the night before with the baby mama.
Yeah. I'm confused what you're saying there, because obviously he had access to this child.
I'm saying there's a difference between, like, you know, you having a peripheral relationship with a child because you're friends with the parent, as opposed to you're then making plans for the child that you apparently have a lot of access to ahead of the time. You know, like, it was clearly not even something he would have to worry about being an issue with the father, to be like, I'll take her to school tomorrow.
Right.
Because it, you know, like, he was talking to the birth mother and saying, I'll take her to school tomorrow.
Right.
And the fact that the father isn't even a factor in that conversation means that's a whole different level of access. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you say that, it's like, to me, it's just like, you know, the guy lives on the property. He obviously is a shady JD type of person. He's sneaking behind and talking with the mother and making plans to, you know, say that she can meet him in Kuzi. I had Kuzi Fu. Exactly. So I, for an hour, was trying to put even these texts in order, and I literally gave up because it was hurting my brain too much. I wasn't even sure that I was going to show these, because people can go over to the Facebook and go look at them. So absolutely they're out of order. I wish that they were in order, so that whatchamacallit here could listen properly if they were in order. And then it would make more sense. So, because I can tell as I'm reading these, and it's like, well, what does that mean? But if you read all of them, especially in order, you would, you know, it would make more sense.
Right.
But reading it right now is driving me crazy, reading it sporadically like this without them being in order, because as I'm looking at it, I know that this one's not in the right place. And I didn't have time. Like, I literally was just trying to figure out for the longest time, or was this one, like, here, let me look at all of these texts. I had to delete some because they were just copies. And I just grabbed them off of the Facebook group that they were in. So yeah, I would love for them to be in order. And there's also certain texts that I would not show on their Kuzi as well. Ooh, lots of talking over there.
Wow.
Hi Charles, how are you?
Yeah, and you can always send, you know, I can look at them later, but yeah, I mean, it's just, I'm sorry, it's just
so
interesting.
Well, I was gonna say, as for those, I'm just gonna leave those for now. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave them because it does injustice trying to read them to you without you seeing them in some sort of order. Wherein you can go to the Facebook group, or anybody can, and read it properly. But the gist of it is that, like, the gist of a lot, like, as for that one message though that Kuzi was talking about, I can't say I read that one. Maybe I overlooked it, not sure. Maybe there was more messages posted after. I just remember seeing these kind of main ones. And so the gist of it is that, you know, he's trying to set up that night before, whatever, Wednesday night, that he's going to, you know, that all this came about because Audrey asked him, like asked about her, you know, and so he's trying to be that, you know, so-called good friend and trying to set up, obviously behind the dad's back, you know, that they would like meet at the park type of idea.
Right.
And she, of course, doesn't want to get in trouble and violate any sort of orders or whatever against her. But obviously, she would love to see her daughter. But she thinks this guy is pretty much, you know, like slime anyway. Kind of like, well, why are you doing this type of thing? So basically, it was that so he's basically saying, like, look, we can go to the park, you know, I can just be there. And, you know, oops, so there's Audrey, you know, and you know, that type of thing. And to me, this was all part of pre-planning, that he knew what he was going to do that day. Sounds like it. Could be, could not be, but it sounds like it. It's almost like, I don't know. This is just my own gut feeling a little bit at the moment. I just feel like did he have something for her, the mom? Was he purposely trying to set her up to make it seem like she was the one that abducted her own child? You know? So I don't know. I don't know. Either way, obviously, that's kind of the gist of it. Is that he's trying to get her to meet him. So, and then so when he never showed up with her, she said, "So I guess today's not going to happen," or something like that. And then he's like at 6:46 going, "Hey, have you seen Audrey? And last I know, because I'm clueless, is I just dropped her off at the bus, and now we can't find Audrey. Like, where in the world would she be?" So
or did he feel mentally superior to her, or both parents, and, you know, almost get off on this being a type of game that he played, in which he, you know, he preyed on the vulnerability of the parents in order to gain access to the child, and then use that access to carry out whatever his sick fantasy was. But then even took further to the point where he then, you know, after the fact was like, "Oh, have you heard from Audrey?" To like kind of like further that high of whatever disgusting thing he got off on.
Right. Like, I mean, the mom didn't have access to her. So it's not like
Right.
he benefited from that point of it. So why this whole little thing of, you know, like, hey, let me be a good citizen here and
to get that attention.
help you out.
To get that attention and to raise that
sure.
little alarm,
That
which then would like kind of like up his endorphins again.
You know, well, yeah, like I said, you know, whether the reason becomes that he's a sick, twisted, like, even though he's not got, you know, he's not a S offender, but you know what, right, you know, type of thing. It's like, sure, he hasn't been caught and charged with stuff like that, but, you know, is he just is he just far off from that type of thing?
Well, we've seen his charges. I mean, how is that not considered, you know, trackable, basically?
Right? You'd think so, you know. Anything to do with. Go ahead.
So one thing I'm curious about, and this is what I keep thinking about with this case, is, you know, I always think of like an investigative mindset. You know, if I'm law enforcement, you know, you don't involve the public when you don't have to. I mean, for the most part, law enforcement doesn't usually divulge information or give information that they don't have to the public.
Right, they don't.
Unless they need the public.
Exactly. That's
everything in this case that I've seen so far doesn't give me any signs that law enforcement needs the public's help.
They do. But
they clearly do. Because, I mean, if I look at, you know, like, okay, this girl went missing Thursday. They clearly had a very good idea of who their suspect might be.
Yes.
By Saturday, arrested.
Um,
on other charges, right?
On other charges, of course. Well, of course. And then even watching this press conference from today,
yeah,
they seem to have a pretty clear idea of like what they're working with, even if they can't piece everything together right now. But they've given quite a bit of information to the public, and that's interesting to me. Like, why involve the public this much?
Well,
I don't feel like they needed to.
Okay, so so when you say that, so my thing is this: they came out today basically saying, like, look, it's kind of like he's given us, information in places where they, where he was, and obviously, like, my question to you is this, actually, Adam, first, so he was arrested, on other charges, but can't, like, because he hasn't been charged with this, can they request GPS tracking if the truck has it? Can they request the cell phone data from his phone, and stuff like that? Can they request that if he actually hasn't been charged? Can they still do that?
Well, I mean, if they arrested him, they could have taken his phone and
that's what I was
downloading the information off of his phone.
Right.
They may recover or find out that all of this information pertinent to this new other case, then becomes available. That's pretty common, right?
So, what, to me, they're coming out because, like I said, please do not give information unless they need your help.
Right, and that's what I'm like, and I feel like the police are giving a little bit more information than they really need to be giving. Actually,
so I was going to ask you in what, because they wanted camera footage. So what, because by saying that there's a Hello Kitty backpack. No, well, they didn't actually. Like that guy said in the video, the black man there, he had said, I think that's the sheriff. He had said that basically we're reviewing it still. Shut up, dude. Shut up. Okay. It's already her backpack. We know it's her backpack. It's been said it's her backpack, unless you're going to tell me Jennifer Coffindaffer is lying, because she said it's pretty well known that that's her backpack.
Where was the backpack found?
In the dam. Like in that dam area.
In the dam. Oh.
Yeah, close to the dam, right there. Okay. And then there was also a shoe found as well. Now, my thing is this, and this goes back to Boston Christian a little bit as well, is that they're gonna pretty much, right? They're probably trying to tie the noose around his neck by placing him in all these different spots. So they were asking for people, if there's any camera footage of this area, please contact us, because they're trying to find where, of course, Audrey is and put his timeline and everything together. But I don't.
His cell phone should tell everyone if he had it on him.
Hey, Travis. Okay.
Oh, hey, Travis.
So what information, because there's not like there's a ton of information. So what information do you feel like they've kind of given us quite a bit of information?
About the suspect. I feel like they've given ample information about this suspect. Preemptively, before they really need to. I mean, they said, he's, here's his rap sheet. He's the main person of interest is, I think, the quote I heard.
Well, what the guy said was, basically, that's what the white guy that was standing behind him there, lieutenant, whatever he was, he said, we're looking at persons of interest. Oh, well, to be honest, basically, and he pretty much said it like that. To be honest, we're looking at one person.
Right. And then, they said, they said, he wasn't, he basically said he needed a lawyer, but he did then give us some information. So, I mean, I feel like they were very forthcoming with, kind of, does anyone have any other suspect other than this guy?
No.
I don't think so. So no. I feel like, what piece of information are they missing? Because to me, law enforcement needs something from the public if they're giving out all this information.
Well, again, to me, what they were asking for is simply camera footage so that they can put the nail in the coffin. And they're trying to figure out where she is. They've been to multiple spots now looking for her. I
But
personally
you think they have all of the pieces, but they don't know where she is.
Correct. I think that they have the majority of everything. But in the spots that he is going, like, so obviously he was driving around that day, right? Doing things, whatever, driving probably, oh, let me go throw the backpack in the dam, close to the dam area, throw the shoe over here. Look, she was abducted. I think that this is one of those toss, but it happened elsewhere.
Well, I think part of what I was thinking about too is, are they giving all of that information so readily because they honestly think there could be a chance that she is alive or was alive, and they wanted to get everything they could out to the public except for the fact that they don't know where she is. And of course they legally can't just be like, we know he took her, we know he did something to her. They have to be like, he's our main person of interest, blah blah blah.
I guess I think it's one of. Go ahead.
I'm just curious as to why they played it the way they did.
Oh, see, because I honestly, for me, I'm not seeing it that way whatsoever at all. I'm just seeing simply that sometimes you get forthcoming counties that are more forthcoming with information. They haven't said if it's her backpack or not, in a sense, to the public.
I don't know. And I don't know anything about the backpack.
Right. Okay. It's right. The Hello Kitty backpack. I mean, we heard it was yellow, but anyways, it was found in the dam area. Okay. Her backpack. But that's why he didn't say it. Like, that's still in progress. Dude, shut up. We already know it's her backpack. Quit lying to the public like that. But when they didn't say his name at first and said person of interest. And then, basically not too long after that, then it was like, here's this person. Dawn Stephen McDougal. She was the last person to see her. So I don't actually feel like it's been like giving us a lot, to be honest with you. I think that they're updating at the press conferences, and they're not a Doug Carter that's saying shit all and effing up the Abby and Libby case so bad with all that crap. At least these ones are more transparent, but they're like, hey, we're searching in this area, but please stay away from here. This is where we are searching, or hey,
right.
Let's kill this rumor.
See, I mean, everything I'm saying, I've said, and I'm saying everything that I don't know anything about a dam or a backpack. So everything that I'm saying is without that piece of information even included.
Oh, okay. Right. But the thing is that to me, it's like, they're looking, like they're asking for that information so that they can find where she is, and so that they can put their whole big puzzle piece together. And because they know where his vehicle was, they're going and this and that, but they don't have any camera footage in that area. So perhaps she got disposed of, if she is dead. Okay.
Has the dad made any statements?
No, I don't think so, actually. I haven't overly paid attention to that part of it, because I'm just more been focused on this girl's missing. Let's bring awareness. Let's talk about the case. Let's talk about what the police are doing. Talk about Don Stephen McDougal, because he simply is the last person. They are making it clear as day. This is the person we are interested in. In fact, the guy that was standing behind the black dude at the speaker, the white guy, the lieutenant guy, he said, said, this is actually our only person of interest. Like, he literally was like, well, I'm just going to tell you guys right now, this is our only person of interest, because there is nobody else. It's him. They know it's him. He knows it's him. That's why they were talking about the whole thing about, having our case, for the affidavit and stuff like that. So to me, they came out asking today because they simply, need that. They need this piece of information to put it to the rest of the puzzle for all his whereabouts. And maybe that is one of that. If someone has a camera in that area, maybe they think that's because that's where she could be, is in that particular area. So give us the footage you need, because they obviously need help. on that part, on that piece. They know that he did something to her. It's just a matter of where is Audrey.
So it was a red Hello Kitty backpack.
Yeah. It's kind of like in my thumbnail.
Audrey never made it to the school bus. Sorry, I didn't know about the backpack or the dam, so I was just trying to look up that real quick.
Yeah, like they've been, so again, I like how they said, he's been taking us to different, telling us about the different locations and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, dude, you are totally, okay. He's not going to say he's guilty unless it's slapped in his face. Dude, you cannot get out of this shit. You are so getting charged, for Audrey's death, should she be allegedly dead. Okay, probably is. But again, on the best case scenario, and even you can hear it when they're talking at the press conference, you have to hold out hope. You simply have to hold out hope. You know that everything about this case is leading to the fact that Audrey, her life was taken. That's exactly the way it's playing out. So unless he tucked her somewhere in a shack somewhere and da-da-da-da-da, right? But honestly, they find her, then they find her. If she doesn't starve to death, if she's put in a shack somewhere.
And and the quote that I'm reading, this is an article, I think it's on CNN, but this quote that I'm reading is telling to me what it says. Once we get all of the evidence put together, and this may have been in the press conference.
It was, yeah.
We will determine what charges will be filed. Not like if charges will be filed, not like, if there are charges to be filed. What charges will be filed. We want to make sure that whatever evidence we collect that we place on an affidavit today is going to be something that is going to hold up in court later. To me, that gives an indication that they have an idea of what happened.
Oh, they said this in the conference, exactly what you just read there. They said that in the press conference you watched. Did you not hear that part?
I might have. I mean, like I said, I might have been a blur. It was a lot at one time.
You know what I want to know though, Adam? Why isn't Travis doing boots on the ground for us? Why isn't he down there? He's from Texas.
Well, I mean, he can only move so fast in his tight pants.
Well, he's no JLR, I'll tell you that, because JLR wears shorts and he doesn't wear tight pants. You're probably right about that, to be honest with you. He probably would have made it 2 blocks by now from the 15th to today. But I'm just kind of curious. Travis, I figure like you could, mosey on down, do a little bit of sleuthing around like that. That's what a good lawyer does.
Right. Yeah, and I would like to hold out hope for this, but
he already said about the phone. You popped out for a second.
It spun for a second. I apologize.
They are in there.
Yeah, I would like to hold out hope for this. I just
EquiSearch is.
I kind of feel like this is what it is so far.
Yeah, Travis, where are you on this case?
Unindicted says Equius was there.
Yeah. Yeah. See, you got to come watch the lives more often here, Travis. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, because that was said like right at day 1, basically, on the search, that EquiSearch was there. So good on them guys, Dave and Tim, and that run there. But anyways, Amazon was supposed to drop off my pants today. Couldn't leave.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
Do they have his Suburban?
Yes, they have it in custody. Absolutely.
That'll be telling.
When they arrested him, yeah, that wasn't in the thing. Okay. Now, hold on.
Although her DNA, if he gave her rides to school occasionally, her DNA should be in the vehicle, but it'll all depend on what type of DNA.
Right. I mean, if it's blood DNA.
Well, yeah, or a mixture is DNA with hers.
That's
what kind. That'll make a difference.
Yeah. So my question to you is this. So Psychic Sleuth, she was kind enough. So the other night to join me, that's when you said, I believe you were in bed or something.
Right. I turned it on right when she got kicked out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, the thing is because she kept like when you have issues.
When I turned it on, it was like.
Yeah. And so like I said, when she popped out and came back on, it went away. But it didn't take too long for it to come back on. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so she came on and we were talking about this. Now, let me ask you fine folk that are in chat right now, of course. One, if you believe that she's in the water somewhere, doesn't matter if it's at the dam, somewhere. Or two, do you believe that she's not in the water? So
do you have a picture of the dam?
Yeah, I'm going to show you it on Google Earth right here.
I don't, because I'm not seeing the whole dam or the backpack
Oh,
thing.
well, here, let me just hold on. Let me go to my TikTok. Let me go to my TikTok videos. Let's see here. Which is the one that has, you know what? You know what, Adam? I'm just going to do you a solid. I'm going to let you watch a couple of my TikTok videos.
Oh, good.
Okay, let's start off with the first one I put out. All right.
Travis says they have him in custody. His vehicle in custody. Bingo. AAL.
What?
DNA isn't going to help them inside the Suburban. They are doing what he needs to do before getting a lawyer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Travis.
Oh, did I not show it yet? Oh my God.
No.
Oh, okay. So let me go this one again. Okay, so I'll just play each video that I put out.
Where anything was going on or where anything was happening.
Okay,
and,
hold on. Let me give preference to this. So this is a guy that was at the area near the dam area where they were first searching originally. Okay, and so he was talking about what he saw. Okay, so this guy's name is McDougal something or another. Can't think of his last name. It's a hard thing to pronounce or to remember. So let me go back to that.
We ended up at the Trinity River on 59, and there wasn't anybody there. And so as we were turning around, the only thing that we did see was a Jeep that looked like they were dropping like a flat bottom boat into the river, which I assume would be like EquiSearch or maybe some other independent people that were searching. And we just weren't real sure. And so we were actually starting to head out. And then DPS officers, the sheriff's deputy, I believe in an SUV and maybe a couple other vehicles had pulled in. And we stopped just to kind of see what was going on at that point. And then we watched them get McDougal out of the vehicle. He was in stripes, shorts, and boots.
In shackles, pointing out towards something. We don't know yet, you guys.
Please keep Audrey and her family in your prayers.
Here, not really knowing where anything.
Okay, so this guy was basically talking about just simply that he saw and that he looked like he was in shackles, that they had taken him out there, that, he was pointing to something. He doesn't know what that was. And, so that's the gist of kind of what he was saying that he saw. So a lot of people are saying, hey, like he was pointing to the area of where he put her and stuff like that, but obviously not, because he's claiming his innocence. But, okay, so hold on. Next, if I go click that off, let's go to the next video. Hey everyone, this is Sunny Justice with It's a Crime and Shame. Wow. So the sad story that we're going to be talking about is AUDRII Cunningham. She's a missing 11-year-old out of Livingston in Texas. Now the suspect, the person of interest, is Don McDougal. Now who is Don McDougal? Well, he's the roommate of the father that's known him for 7 years. And also the grandmother lives there as well. Now she's been missing since February 15th when he claims he dropped her off at the school bus. But according to the school, she was not dropped off. She did not get on the bus, did not attend school, and she never got off the bus. So a search is still underway for AUDRII. Now, they have found a backpack amongst other things. Now, foul play is expected, but hopefully, with your guys' prayers, hopefully, this child can be returned to her family. But anyways, you guys, as you can see, he's been charged as well previously for things involving children. Please, you guys, share this, like this, and thank you for... Okay, so that was that one. Most of them I kept to a minute. I was being a true TikToker, because of YouTube as well, because YouTube. So this is the prayer one. Okay, this is the next one. Come on, play. Oh, why is it not playing? It's like my mouse isn't even letting me click on it. Oh, unresponsive. I'll just wait. Here, let me just refresh it for a second. Oh, come on. Unresponsive. Come on. Come on, TikTok. Page is unresponsive. Why is it unresponsive? Exit page. Okay. 1 second. Let me just open up another tab and go to it. TikTok, TikTok, TikTok login. Go figure, right? Okay. Oh, get up there. No, I don't want to. What? Sorry.
Nothing.
Sorry. Okay, let me show it again. TikTok. 1 sec, Adam. Share. Let me go to this one.
That Audrey was loved by so many folks. That Audrey was loved by so many folks.
Okay, so did you guys hear that? He said was loved. Do you guys think that was just a slip? Or do you think it was in reference to that they know that some foul play has happened to AUDRII CUNNINGHAM? Now, sadly, there's things that aren't looking so good for this case, guys, and it is so heartbreaking and so sad. Leave your comments in the comments. Please like and share this video. Give it a heart. Thank you guys. Prayers. So many prayers go out to AUDRII CUNNINGHAM and her family. Please like and share this video. Give it a heart. Thank you guys so much. I'm pretty sure that I put it in a video. Maybe I didn't. Did I not put it in a video on TikTok? Hold on.
She was walking by. She was giving my dog.
Hey everyone, this is.
That Audrey was loved by.
I thought I put it in a video. The dam.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, no, I was sure that I put it. Maybe it was on.
Well, and how close was the reservoir to the house?
So yeah, let me. You know what? Sorry guys, because I really thought that I had it in a video, and unless my brain's just dead. But let me go back to Google, because okay, what's her name? Chronicles of Olivia.
Okay.
She had showed the dam, like because she was actually there. So let me just go to Google Earth. Or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I need to use the restroom really quickly. I'll be right back.
You do that. You do that. Where's the little dam there? Oh, I need to go. Well, no. Let me just zoom out. That's the loop. Now I gotta find where I am now. Livingston. Where is that dam? You guys help me find it. Where is that dam? Okay, hold on. Let me just see. Let me just see if it will take me right around there. No, well, no, I want to go near the dam. Darn it. I knew where this dam was before. Come on, let me look at you guys. Are you guys helping me out here? I don't know my northeast, southwest, the dam. Yeah, like the dam. What did I Google yesterday? Let's see. Trinity River Dam. Will that come up? If I do that? Oh, there it is. Okay. So it's right here. Let me just put a freaking thing for this. Place mark. Okay, sorry I didn't use caps or anything like that. Okay, so if we're there, AUDRII's home is here, and they're looking over here now, right? That's where they are today. So let's see if we can bring on this thing here.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So this is where they were. This is the dam where the backpack was found over here. So, oh, hey, Rick Astley. Hey,
Was it found on the
buddy.
bridge?
Pardon?
Was it found on the bridge?
No.
All right.
It was found. All I remember them saying was that it was
pretty
it was found near the dam, like meaning it was wet. So it was somewhere over there. So maybe he threw it in the water and it ended up near the dam, you know, and
Right.
and it.
And how far away is the dam from where she lived?
Oh, you didn't see that part a second ago, huh?
I told you I had to pee.
I know, but I was assuming that you were back by this point. Okay, so she, go on here. Come on with your bad self. Here it is. So
this is a huge reservoir.
Yeah. So the dam is here, and Audrey's here. Hold on a second. I gotta do something. Obviously. 1 second. Hide window. See you, Rick Astley. You're welcome. You're welcome. That was free of charge, buddy. Okay, so dude has a massive, swastika tattoo on his upper right arm. Right, people with those are either mentally challenged or seriously twisted. I can say that all of the above plus more, I'm sure. Is it called the Lake Livingston Dam? Thank you, Travis. I found it. I found it anyway. But thank you. Sometimes I panic with that stuff. I'm like, wait a second, I just had this up yesterday. What did I type in on there? And it's like I'm looking around going, okay, well, which way am I facing? Like when I was already on that. So yeah, so however far this is, you know.
Right.
This is where the dam is. So does this, I think it's this one. Path. Can we do this? Well, that's being cheap. What's the measurement on that? Let's just say about 3 miles. This is 5 miles. So that's probably about 3 miles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not too far from our home. Can you Google Lake Livingston Dam and get a closer pic? You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just hold on. I took a pic. Let me find it. Hold on. I took a pic from Olivia's video. Maybe that's what I did. Let me. Did I take it on here? Oh yeah, here it is.
I guess this is them finding the backpack. I don't know.
Eh? Is that the one that I want to show? Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, this is the picture right here. 1 sec.
That was just not an article I was looking at from them finding the backpack. But
so like that one I took. So if you guys actually want to see the video, just go to Chronicles of Olivia and just watch her video. I don't want to get a copyright in case she gets pissed. But mind you, I think she did have it on TikTok, or no, maybe it was a YouTube short. Can't remember. Anyways, just go to Chronicles of Olivia, and it's just a 1-minute video of her showing the dam and then the other side. Can you? So I call it that because that's what it says on the map. Is that what it says on the map? Yeah. There's a third reason they were in prison and part of. Right. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know, Adam, because I've played a couple clips before. Oh, maybe I'll play this one again for you. Maybe I'll play this one. Just 1 second. Did I close it off? Let's see here. I want the Fox. Might have to open it again. No, here it is. Okay, let me play this one for you again, because you weren't here.
Details about the person of interest in the disappearance of 11-year-old AUDRII Cunningham. Tonight, we have new video of the suspect just a day after the child went missing, and new information from neighbors about the last time they saw the girl. Fox 26's Abigail Dye is live in Livingston tonight with what she has found. Abigail.
Tom, neighbors say that they saw little Audrey walking to and from school every single day, but they didn't see her Thursday. But her family says that she left around 7 a.m. to walk to the bus stop. So somewhere in that half-a-mile walk is when she disappeared. And we are learning more about this person of interest who has a lengthy criminal history, including crimes against children. This video of Don Stephen McDougal was taken Friday morning off North Washington.
I want to hear that part again. Hold on.
But didn't see her Thursday. But her family says that she left around.
Is live in
Sorry,
Livingston
I'm going to
tonight
play
with
that one more
what
time.
she has found. Abigail.
Tom, neighbors say that they saw little Audrey walking to and from school every single day, but they didn't see her Thursday. But her family says that she left around 7 a.m. to walk to the bus stop. So somewhere in that half-a-mile walk is when she disappeared. And we are learning more about this person of interest who has a lengthy criminal history, including crimes against children.
Okay, so did you hear that? So that information has to be wrong, because he says he dropped her off at the bus stop clearly in the message.
Right. Even though she never got picked up.
Huh? Right. Right.
Brett. This video of Don Stephen McDougal was taken Friday morning off North Washington and Livingston. It appears an officer is questioning him. Authorities took him into custody not long after on an old assault charge. McDougal is a person of interest in the disappearance of 11-year-old AUDRII Cunningham. She was reported missing the day before this video was taken, Thursday. Officials say family saw her last at 7 a.m. before she left for the bus stop. It's about a half-mile walk from her home. A neighbor, Denise Colajaco,
hear that again.
she left for the bus stop Thursday. Officials say family saw her last at 7 a.m. before she left for the bus stop. It's about a half-mile walk from her home. A neighbor, Denise Colajaco, says she's watched her make it daily, but the last time was Wednesday.
That would have been Valentine's Day. She was walking by.
Okay, so
she was giving my
what
dog.
she said. Family said that they last saw her at 7 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
Family saw her last at 7 a.m. before she left for the bus stop. It's about
Okay, so what's wrong with this picture here? Because he clearly says he dropped her off at the bus stop, and then in this report it says family says they last seen her at 7 a.m. You know, so someone's got a mixed message.
half-mile walk from her home. A neighbor, Denise Colajaco, says
They didn't
she's
even put
watched
the
her
hole
make
in
it
the right
daily,
spot either.
but the last time was Wednesday.
That would have been Valentine's Day. She was walking by. She was giving my dog loving, and told her Happy Valentine's Day.
She comes down this street, gives your dog some love on the way to the bus stop every day, but on Thursday,
she never went by.
And so is it your assumption that she did not walk to the bus stop? She got driven that day?
Yes, because the dog will
It was like quarter mile, I think.
Walking by.
Authorities say they suspect foul play, and this
I think it had happened,
McDougal
Mom.
has a very lengthy criminal history dating back to 2001.
You're right.
Records show he's been convicted of multiple crimes, including 2 counts of enticement of a child back in 2008.
Oh, wow. He
Documents say
always
was
had a
sentenced to
beard.
2 years in prison for
Yeah.
each count. A search on Facebook pulls up this
Hey,
account,
Ray.
which appears to be McDougal's. He's seen in this photo with a swastika tattoo on his shoulder.
Oh,
Officials
Lord.
haven't confirmed his connection to
Mhm.
Audrey, but
Makes
Colajaco
you
says
kind of
she's
jealous.
seen him at the
When
home.
you're looking.
I went by there one day and
the
he
beer
was there.
can what?
It was a high and by conversation, so I don't know.
Authorities found Audri's backpack near Trinity River near the dam and have been searching the area since.
We love you and we want you home, Audrey. I'm sorry, baby girl.
Okay, that's it.
It
Now,
looked like a
authorities
wet
have
piece of
seized
paper that was.
McDougal's vehicle.
Yeah. So hold on a second. Let me just. Did I put it in here? Where's the one where he says, "I dropped her off at the bus."
Yeah,
So they left.
but then he said, but she didn't get on, basically.
Yeah, but he said she didn't get on, but that's after that they would have known she was missing, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, meaning it would have been known at that time.
Well,
So
yeah, I mean, the school basically said she never got on the bus. So
right.
I guarantee.
I don't even think she made it to the bus stop.
Of course she didn't.
No.
So, the time that she went missing was sometime between Wednesday evening. I would like to know who the last person confirmed to see her alive was, and when on Wednesday night it was. Because that to me is going to be telling. Like, did her dad see her when she went to bed Wednesday night? Did he see her Thursday morning when she got up? Like, I want to know when the last time this girl was seen alive was.
Basically, right here, when she's talking to him and he says, "Hey, have you seen Audrey? I dropped her off at the bus and she didn't get on and hasn't gone home."
Hasn't gone home. Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I want to know when she was last seen.
Yeah, I know, but 1 second. Then the mom Cassie puts back, "No, Stephen, where the F is my daughter?" Right?
What's the next comment?
Well, you don't see the full one. It's I've seen the full one underneath this, but this one that I grabbed didn't have it. But it says, "No, Stephen." She says, "Where the F is my daughter?"
Right.
Because he basically says, "I dropped her off," or whatever. And she's like, "No, Stephen, basically, you piece of shit. What the F did you do with my kid?"
Right.
Yeah.
Angel, exactly. I asked that when I first came on. I was like, I want to know when the dad leaves for work in the morning. Like, I want to know their schedule.
Well,
I want to know when Audrey was last seen by a human being.
Well, they said the family said at 7:00 was when they last seen her in the morning.
Right. But who? Like, was it the
Well,
dad?
it'd be the dad or the grandma, one of the two.
Right.
And
I'm just curious which one. And, because I'm like, I want to know the dad's, I want to know where the dad, what the dad's normal work schedule was.
Well, that day he was at the dock working on his boat or something.
Right.
Right. So I don't know what he does for work. I'm sure, like I said, I don't have Intellius where I could sleuth him out, beyond his worst nightmares type of thing. Again, I had to cut back that thing because, again, I can't keep putting out like $100 a month.
I get it. Yeah.
So
it's just, those are the things that always tell us the most, because 99% of us have a very routine schedule every day of the, even if you don't have a routine, even if you don't have a 9-to-5 job, most of us have a routine schedule.
Right.
And so when someone, deviates from a routine schedule, it makes me curious. And I'm not saying the dad had anything to do with this. I'm just curious of what his routine schedule was, who normally saw this girl when, and where that fell through the cracks.
Right.
Clearly, if she was
last
at 7 a.m.
I'll put it this way. All you need to do is go in that Facebook group and talk to the mom, Cassie Stevens, because she seems to be willing to talk about everything. Right.
Wow.
So maybe it's even in there as we speak. I just
get myself in trouble when I talk to people, like when I talk to family members.
You can message them privately, or put it in the Facebook. There's somebody out there that's going to be able to tell you, I'm sure. I got a frog all of a sudden. Travis said, "Who has the text that says that?" Okay, so the mom of Audrey, her name is Cassie Matthews on Facebook. Okay, so in this group, the link that I dropped, she posted a bunch of her texts that she was having between herself and Stephen McDougal. So the texts that are put in that Facebook group are from Audrii's mother to show the conversations that she was having with this piece of crap named, Stephen McDougal. His name is Don Stephen McDougal for anyone that's just coming in now, but he goes by the name of Stephen. So that's why I'm referring to him as Stephen. So that's where that came from. And the Facebook group is where you can go snoop out type of thing. So, right. Well, I dropped her off at the bus with Stephen, which makes it pretty clear then, doesn't it? Well, let's just say that she would actually have to have made it to the bus. And I don't believe she made it to the bus at all. I don't even, right? Like whether he drove her or whether he perhaps did something to that child in that home area somewhere. You know what I mean? And then took her and disposed of her somewhere. That's a whole nother story. That will come clear at some point, I'm sure. So she didn't make it to the bus. And that's why he's like, well, I mean, I dropped her off, but I heaven forbid that I know that she actually got on the bus. Something must have happened to her, but it wasn't me. Heck no. Let me just tell the police, let me just guide them and help them and tell them, here, I was over here, here, and here, and here. Dude, you're a douchebag. You clearly did something to this poor child. I don't make no qualms about saying that because the police
Right.
actually said that themselves. And hence in the interview when they said, look, we want to make sure that we have our ducks in a row for when we go to court. Because they know regardless that the likelihood of finding her is 1% probably versus the fact that they know that he did something to her, and so yeah. Honey is known as a pedo. You're talking about on that shirt she has where it says honey? I'm lost. Well, we have a text that says I dropped her off. Right. Okay. I thought I said it okay, but if I didn't, I'll say it one more time, Travis, for you. So Stephen McDougal was having a conversation with Cassie Matthews. Now, Cassie Matthews has no rights to her daughter. For whatever reason, Audrey is not allowed to see her mom. There must be some sort of court order in place or whatever. So Stephen McDougal, POS, was having this conversation with Cassie Matthews, and he's probably had other ones before, to basically meet up with her, Cassie Matthews, at a park, as if he was going to do the world a favor, and that the reason he's doing this is because no good deed goes unpunished. And Audrey was asking about her mom, and he feels like he's telling her, well, she's a great person. It's like, she's a good person. It's not, she's not as bad as all these people say, but hey, you know what? Let me try to hook you up and we'll meet at the park, and I'm just going to be there. And then, oops, by happenstance, you just happen to be there too, and see her because I'm going to do you this favor. Now, this was the night before and into the morning conversation. So as the day's going on into Thursday, at first it's good morning, because Stephen McDougal had planned that after school, he was going to take his daughter to this park so that by happenstance that Cassie could see her daughter. That didn't happen, right? Funny how that didn't happen. So as this message comes out, it says Thursday, 6:46 p.m. Now, that's, of course, after she's like, basically, these are when the alarm bells are going off that she's missing. So he's talking to Cassie Matthews, the mother, not the father that she lives with, which is Joshua Cunningham. And then, so he says, hey, have you seen Audrey? I mean, I'm so clueless. I dropped her off at the bus. Have you seen her? Because something obviously has happened to her, type of thing. So he sent this message to Cassie Matthews, and she posted this on Facebook. Now, sorry, you guys, if I'm not seeing all your messages and stuff like that. Where's the video of his truck driving straight past the bus stop at 7 a.m.? Is that just a rumor? Well, they have, I mean, there is a video, and they only showed just a very short clip of it, but they said that they had a video of his vehicle leaving the home that morning. Yeah, but did he dispose of Cassie then? Right? Before then, before he left that morning. But I haven't seen the full version. So just so you know that there's supposedly a video of him leaving the home, of 231 Lakeside Drive there. Someone says that the text is from Steven. Someone else is saying it's mom. It's mom and Steven having a conversation. The stuff that's in the yellow is not yellow. Where the heck did I get yellow from? The stuff that's in the blue is Casey, however you want to say it, talking to McDougal, and he's in the white. So anything that's in these, he's the one in the white, she's the one in the purple. So so he's the one, because that's his profile pic, Mr. POS. Hey, have you seen Audrey? I dropped her off at the bus. She didn't get on and hasn't gotten home. He's saying that to Cassie, Audrey's mom. Does that make sense? Was that the mom on the TV? Yes, that was the mom on the TV clip. Exactly. That's the one. The one with the tank shirt on, some few tats on. That's the mom, right? Got it. Thank you. Okay. So, yeah. So anyway, Mr. Aspincana, I hope that cleared it up for you guys. If you guys were a little bit confused about that, because when you kind of read it, actually, it looks like she's asking him that question, like, "Hey, have you seen Audrey?" At first, when you see it, but anyways, that's Stephen McDougal saying that. So again, Adam, do you have any more things that you're confused about? Oh,
no. I mean, like I said, I want to like go through all of these in like my own time. So, but no, I mean, everything makes sense to me so far. I still have a lot of questions though, and I do think that the PR moves that law enforcement have taken with this case are interesting. I mean, I don't know what they mean, but they're interesting.
See, I didn't like. I'm still like, I get what you're saying to me.
Maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I'm literally just going into this with like my goal blinders on, that like everything is like, Judge Goal's like, nope. And Doug Carter's like, nope, we're keeping this close to the vest. We're keeping this close to the vest. So I'm like, why would anyone give any information that wasn't, to be deciphered through 3 riddles and,
You don't think this kind of reminds me of like Koberger when they were pretty, when they came out, when they needed the help and asking for the vehicle, and they talked about quite a few things, like meaning the Koberger case, at least they made you feel like you were involved in some of the knowledge going on there.
No, because I feel like that was a very specific element that they gave, and they weren't like, oh, and we have an ID that matches. Like, I feel like with this case, they were like, okay, here's this guy. He's our main guy. We just need to know this and this. Whereas, even with Koberger, like, no one knew anything about the fact that they were like, okay, we matched this Washington State, school ID to this Pennsylvania driver's license, blah, blah, blah,
I just don't see what you're like talking about, but I understand.
Maybe I'm just overly tired. That's the first thing that stood out to me was that, I feel like, because any piece of information, law enforcement, in any case, any piece of information that they voluntarily release or give out, I feel is significant, and I feel like it's intentional. So I always try to think about what they say and what they don't say.
Well, I think it's intentional, but I also think that it's about being somewhat transparent so people know. And I guess for me, like I'm just not seeing what you're saying. Does you guys understand what Adam is saying, right? Travis or anyone in chat, do you agree with what Adam's saying? Because I feel like I'm just watching a press conference that they're saying certain information, without giving, say, too many details, but they're giving us enough details. But I'm not thinking it seems odd or different. I mean, he was referencing Delphi because of everything being.
Of course, yeah. No, I don't think this is anything can. I don't think this is any like connections to like what happened in Delphi at all. I just think to myself that I'm like, if law enforcement gives out a piece of information, there has to be a reason they give it out, and there has to be a goal that they want to achieve with that piece of information.
Correct.
And so,
or else they wouldn't give it to us.
And so, with the information that this law enforcement agency is giving out, I am questioning what is the goal they want back from that. And if it's just for video footage, that's fine. But then why did they ask for that directly?
I think that correct. Because I don't really feel like they've given us a ton of information. They told us about a backpack being found, but but that's one of those things that I think that got okay. Because
See, here, let me give you an example. I feel like if this would have been like if with Kylie Rodney, if day two of Kylie Rodney being missing, they had said we want information on Jack's. Or if this had been Idaho, they had said we want information on Jack Showalter. They said with this case, we want information on this guy.
Yeah.
And
because
so
we know it's him.
They zeroed in on like they didn't leave any questions up for grabs as far as like the who or the what or the what. So they're just kind of like, just to me, it's the why.
I mean, I just simply see it as, look, we know that this guy did something with her. And we're making no qualms about it, and they want anyone that came across his vehicle with video footage. And of course, they're going to show his face because they urgently want to find Audrey, of course. And they know that he was the last person to see her, and that vehicle, and knowing his criminal records too, that this is the vehicle. This is the owner of the vehicle. He's the last person to see her. Please send in whatever footage you can that will help and aid us in finding Audrey. And probably at first, hopeful that she was alive. Day two, probably not so hopeful, but still somewhat. You know what I mean? But I think that they knew the answer because this is typically what happens in these type of cases.
And Miranda Lee, I think they have a lot of evidence that they didn't release.
Oh, for sure. They did.
Which is why I'm curious about why what piece they were still missing. That's all.
Yeah.
And again, I could just be overly tired and missing the whole point.
I mean, they did say that. Like they did say basically like we have a lot more than what we're giving you. But of course that information is for us, not for you guys. But we simply need your help for this. So here's this. And here's the car, here's the vehicle, here's the driver. He's the last person to see her. We need your help to track and trace any of his movements. So please come forward. Because like they said in the press conference, right? There's no other person they're looking at. They're looking distinctly at him. But you know how they word things as well. It's kind of like when they're talking about the backpack. Now, what I was going to say about the backpack is that I believe that somebody found the backpack. And of course, it made it out to the true crime sleuths right away. Because we all know that things happen very, very fast, right? So if somebody found a searcher, whatever, found that backpack and somebody else said that they found it, and then it's going to hit social media, right? That's just the way it goes. They probably wouldn't have released that information had it not been for, say, news traveling very fast. About everything. Yeah. So I think that's kind of why they keep saying that a backpack was found, but You know, we still haven't identified if it's hers or not, type of thing. It's like, hey, quit feeding us the crock of shit. We're not stupid. Okay, you have to say that crap, but why? Right? I mean, it's out there, but that's, you know, their lingo. Keep it close to the vest, this and that type of thing. But anyways, so that's how I believe like it got out there about the backpack in the first place. But anyways, it was a red Hello Kitty backpack. I don't know where the camo thing came from, but it was a red Hello Kitty. So I just grabbed this picture. I don't know if this is the exact one, but it was a red backpack that said Hello Kitty. So this is probably pretty close to it. I keep getting distracted. Only is it by my good looks or Adam's? What's doing it to you, Angel?
It's Sunny's.
Do you need some therapy? I can help you. Yeah. Anyways, Travis said, what did Travis say earlier up here? Travis said they will give locations and confirm locations on things, but not if the backpack is hers. Right. This is all standard by a competent agency. Right. You know, and so I mean, they know when they're speaking that it's her backpack, and other people know that as well.
Right.
But they're not confirming that to us yet, even though Jennifer Coffindaffer says, well, it's pretty well known that that is her backpack. It's been said by multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, she thought Ron Logan was Bridge Guy at one point. So I'm kidding.
Leave my Jenny alone now, okay?
I love Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny from the block. Yeah. Yeah. You know, the thing I like about Jennifer, like I said, maybe I wasn't so keen on the whole Ron Logan thing, but I forgave her for that. Still do forgive her for that. But what I like is
not that she asked for it, but
not that she asked for it. Not that she asked for it, but
she's like F off. I don't need
yeah, she goes, you know what? I'm gonna start my day with thinking about what Sunny has to say about me.
Right. She's like, okay, let me ask. I'll just ask Ashley Banfield what she thinks about that.
Exactly, right. Now actually hold on. Let's just quickly. What do you like more? Yeah. Without come on now. Don't be a wuss. Who do you like more, Ashley Banfield or Jennifer Coffin? Hopper, isn't that what you called her?
Jennifer I think they're I think they're completely different.
Here it comes. Yeah. Just which one do you like more? Yes, like Ashley or Jennifer. Would you rather listen to Ashley or Jennifer?
Well, I mean, I think that Jennifer Coffindaffer more I feel like she has more like I'd rather hear what she has to say, but I really like Ashley Banfield. I know a lot of people don't, but
I like them both. Yeah. If I had to probably listen to one over the other, I don't know. I'd have a hard time actually on that one myself because I like them both for their own reasons. But if I had to pick, I'm probably going to say Jennifer just because. I mean, I like Ashley too. Don't get me wrong, but if I had to pick, I'd probably say Jennifer. What I like about Ashley and Jennifer is they just speak their truth.
Right. So like, okay. All right. Well, like in the very same way, if you had to choose me or Tom Webster.
You. Of course you. Hello.
I'm just kidding.
Now, if you were to put Charmaine up against you or Kelly Taylor, that's a whole different ball of wax right there.
I'm just playing.
Right there.
But like me or like Barbara McDonald.
Oh, definitely you. That's an easy peasy question. I'm not even going to ask you. Like or hate me, do not care.
Guess what day that bullet was found?
Yeah. What'd you say?
I said, guess what day the bullet was found?
14th. Absolutely.
14th.
Most people with a brain could deduct that by kind of what Fig showed in his thing, and we talked about it before, and you talked about it as well, actually, just not long ago.
Talked about it.
I mean, come on, if the bodies are there and they said that the bullet was this far between the bodies, it's because they know that the bodies were right there and the bullet was right there. That just makes sense. Now,
anyway, can we block Jenny from the chat?
So I'd have to pick Tom. I have a crush on him.
I'm just playing, Jenny.
Yeah. Does that leave it a bad taste in your mouth now with Jenny asking? I feel like it does. Jenny, okay.
If I see Jenny again, it might. But
here, let me just put it up so that everyone can.
I'm just playing.
Yeah.
I love Tom. So.
Tom. Okay. Yeah. Travis said, "Why give out what they give out is calculated to encourage people to respond with information while preserving integrity of the information." Yeah, but it doesn't stop Adam from with his little Inspector Gadget freaking magnifying glass, right?
Well, because it makes me question why they choose to give out what they do and why they choose,
I guess to me, it's just they choose to give out what they do because they want us to know that information so that they can get information. That's how I like, meaning there's a reason, obviously, why they give us that information, unless they're just like an open mouth person that doesn't really know how to conduct a, press conference. To me, they give us what we need to know, and that's all that they're going to give us. And they know that the media, of course, is their best source of doing that. So it's like that little game right here. We need you for something. Thank you so much. If you could just help us out. But to me, everything they're saying is for that purpose. Kind of like when Doug Carter would speak and stuff like that. Like he said things. Well, I'm not even gonna get into what he said and all his stupid analogies and stuff.
And Jenny, I have a different OCD than Tom, but now and Charles, no, we would never hate on Tom. We love Tom here. I talked to Tom earlier today.
Don't hate on Tom. You just shut your mouth right there.
If I do hate on Tom,
it's going to be in a bad way.
It's because he's being a bad boy and he deserves
I know,
it.
and he needs a spanking or something, right, Adam? Yeah. Don't you hate on Tom?
I'm so tired now.
We're going to go in a minute anyway.
Really?
These people who know what they're doing, and the Rangers and FBI approve everything they are giving out. They have profilers helping on what to give out.
I'm sorry, Miranda.
He just made me want. You know what? I was gonna say that's each to their own. I'm not gonna lie on that, Miranda. I see humor in what is that when you make fun of yourself and stuff like that? Now I don't have OCD.
No, I mean it is serious, so I know.
But the thing is that how other people handle their issues is each to their own. So if Miranda doesn't joke about it, and say Tom can or you can, but not that you have OCD, then again, each to their own. Because some people can joke about it. You know who actually just can I say this? Howie Mandel is the one that instantly comes to my mind.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's very.
He's probably one of the more famous people.
Because he always talked about it, and I was going to say just quickly. So I get it because everyone has their things, whether it's anxieties, fears, OCD or whatever. And he had a germ, like he has a germ phobia type of idea.
But he has OCD. He has OCD as well.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. It's kind of like someone having ADHD or this person having this. Sometimes we all have our things. And sometimes they can be very debilitating to people, Again, like I don't have OCD, so I don't know anything about that. But I know I have probably ADHD and was never diagnosed with that, So just to me, it's like however people express their stuff or whatever is each to their own. And so, like I said, so nothing against you. Just if you don't joke about it, that's on you. If other people do, that's on them.
So Jenny says, "Oh, does someone have a tiny crush?" Yes, Jenny. Tom Webster has a pretty big crush.
Love you. Pretty big crush on you.
Right, and I'm always like, Tom, leave me alone.
Oh, God. Right. Now we're just getting full of ourselves.
Let's keep it professional, Tom.
Yeah. Self-deprecation. Anyway, he sure was laughing right after. He sure. See, I told you. My OCD is serenity. LOL, Howie Mandel. We have certain traits. It's on the spectrum. Yeah, well, I'm on the.
I agree, Daniel.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
probably on a few spectrums.
Call me crazy. Some people do. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm perfect. Let's just end the live with that.
I'm saying, Charles, do I seem like the kind that crushes? No.
Yeah, you totally crush.
I don't.
Usually I'm
know that.
Adam, quit sending me those messages. I love my husband. Usually that's what happens. Anyways, you guys, we're gonna get off tonight. I'm tired as well. This chick has had, not gonna lie, I've probably had 10 hours in like 3 days.
That's adventurous.
What?
Nothing.
What did you say?
I said, well, that's adventurous.
What? Getting off? I gotta go make husband's lunch now that I think about it. Yeah, I gotta go do that. That's what I gotta do. Anyways, thank you guys. Again, what's? I feel like you keep.
Someone messed up my whole camera.
Oh, I'm gonna put in that Facebook group one more time in case anyone didn't copy it, type of thing. Wait, Travis. Oh, Travis, until you get
someone wants a continuance.
Yeah, someone wants a continuance. He's like, wait. Hold on, let me just show you my tight pants. Oh, psych, kidding. It was something yesterday. What did you all decide yesterday?
We decided to file another precipice.
Precipice.
For transcripts for the second time.
That was today. No, that was yesterday. No, that was today.
No, that was today.
That was today.
Yesterday was Sunday.
Yeah. So, is that what you're talking about? It was something yesterday, but because yesterday was Sunday, we weren't even live.
I was at something yesterday. What? Yeah.
Yeah. Good night, Charles. Good night, you guys. No, I'm not sure what he's talking about. Go have yourself some eggnog.
And I have whole opinions about it all. I'm just tired. So.
Yeah. My drink's empty too that I had. It was so good.
The whole fact that, like the fact that, like if it was Delphi that, Baldwin and Rosie, they filed for the transcripts from the June 15th hearing. They filed for those transcripts back in August. They never received them. They filed for them again today. And to me, it's the exact reason. It's the exact example of the nonsense that makes Gall look bad in this case. Because why not approve a party that's a part of this case to get those transcripts?
You all did a video that was titled, was Delphi a blank Nordic ritualistic sacrifice? When? Like, are you being serious? Like, when? Y'all did a video? When? I think Travis cut out the drinking. Okay, enough is enough now. We did not do a video. The title was Delphi a blank Nordic ritualistic sacrifice. No, we weren't live yesterday. Yeah. Okay.
Go live yesterday.
All right. That's what I'm saying. Stop. Okay. We didn't do a live. Clearly somebody was are you talking about criminality? Did criminality do a live yesterday or something? And you thought it was us?
I don't know.
Well, I think Travis is in so many channels that he literally thinks half the time that he's in ours, perhaps doing the live. I feel like that's what's going on. We didn't do a live yesterday. I did a live on Audrey on Saturday. Was it? On Saturday, I believe. Yeah. And other than that, that's it. And Adam, you sent me that document and I looked at it for 2 seconds and looked at, what was in it. And I was like, boring. Okay. Went back to bed.
Right.
I didn't even see it till
exactly.
later.
But there's no reason that should not be immediately approved. And yet here we are 9 months, 8 months after June 15th, and the defense still hasn't been given the transcript from that.
Yeah.
That's silly. Like, why haven't they been turned over that transcript?
Yeah.
Right.
I want to know, was Delphi a blank Nordic ritualistic sacrifice? You're gonna just have to Google that and see in YouTube, and then see what name pops up. I suppose. I'm just too lazy. Maybe the unraveling. I'm sleeping in other channels. That's obviously. I'm awake and well. Okay, I think that's what's going on. Because, anyways, that was a good try. Adam, that live was great that we didn't do yesterday, wasn't it?
Of course, every live we do that we don't do is great.
Did we get a lot of views? Okay, you guys take care. Have a great night. Today is Monday, right? It was a holiday. Didn't do a live yesterday. Did one on Audrey the day before on Saturday.
That's a huge community
so
post.
if there's breaking information, you know that I will go live regardless if Adam's at work or not. I can do a selfie by myself. But anyways, so if there's any breaking information, of course, I'll go live. If not, I'll be working